Here we are.
All right.
Yo, oh my god.
What's up?
Homestuck. Also, do you like the background I prepared? I did Tavros' Hive. I just like the I just kind of picked pictures that I liked. I think his hive has cool colors.
I see
Nice.
it. I see it.
It's a
Nice. I
nice
just had to
yeah.
refresh the page. It was blocking me out for a second.
Anyway, here we are. We're ready for Act 5. I have so many notes. We're probably going to be here for a while. Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all good. We just might need to take like a snack break, but I got
Yeah,
water.
yeah, we'll drink our water, stand up, do all those lovely things. But we are
Stay
going to be
healthy.
here. We're going to be here for a second. Now I mean, dang, you read Act 5. Act 5, there's like
Act
so
five was
much.
meaty. It
It's
was
so
meaty.
much. There's so much. The funny thing is that usually when people refer to Act 5, like people because Act 5 like got a lot of fans into it. Yeah. What they actually mean is Act 5 Act 1. The first half of Act 5, just the part with the like where they introduce the trolls. They're not necessarily as much referring to the latter half of it. But we read the whole thing. So all the way from the introduction to the troll of us actually properly meeting them on their home planet all the way to an event that we will get to when we get to.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of big events that happen here, so many that pretty quickly I took it upon myself to basically keep two different note pages. um One that I typed out like chronologically. This comic has there's no such thing as chronological in this comic,
No,
truly. But
no, no.
in the order that things happened as you saw them in the comic, I had one notes that were just like that. So it was like my first passive notes, and then I had a second note page where I would take all that stuff and reorganize it into different categories to hopefully make this stuff a little bit easier to discuss when we went here. So like I have a whole category for all the trolls, which I figured that would be a great part to just like start on, and then if any of the details about them get spoilery, we can save it for later and go back and forth between the two notes as we need to make to like hopefully sort through all this, cuz I know you were telling me that like there's so much going on that you're not even sure if you like processed all of it, and maybe that's my bad for making us read the whole thing in like less than a month.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's also like I've never been in this fandom like at all, so I have literally no like knowledge to
You're
go off
learning
of except what I'm reading.
I'm learning a lot of new
It's not,
things.
yeah.
Fair, fair. So,
I'm sure a lot of first time readers were just as confused as I am as it was coming out.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But, I mean, so, okay, so one thing you really gotta understand, especially about this era of Homestuck, is that, like, well, okay, let me mute some peeps. Uh,
Your Discord server
wait,
popping off.
wait, no, the another one.
Oh, all
I'm
right,
gonna
all
message
good.
Luck, real quick, because I'm literally doing my Homestuck stream right now. Ask me when I'm done. He was asking me a question actually about the Homestuck homebrew because he was the first one that got to see the whole thing.
Mm.
Shh, none of you are supposed to know about that. Shh, don't worry about it yet. Don't worry about it yet. Shh. Okay. Anyway. So where was I? Where to start all this? I figure since the first half of the act is basically um a lot of it is like info dumping, right, about trolls and troll society. And the thing is that because of how much people actually really loved the trolls, you would maybe be shocked at just how quickly some people became experts about these guys. And how
I'm not
much
surprised by that.
and how much like theorizing and discussing these guys on AO3 and on fanfiction.net and Tumblr became like somewhat of an Olympic sport. I definitely felt like through those avenues I got a pretty decent grasp of exactly what the trolls were about, like pretty early on. Um in my fandom at least. And I was someone who, by the time like I read Act 5, it had been out for years. um I was only caught up around like I only started reading as it came out, like maybe halfway through Act 6, but Act 6 is a behemoth, so that's not saying anything. That can mean anything.
You're telling me Act 6 is worse?
Act 6 is the rest of the comic.
Oh, so that's the rest of the 4,000 pages?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the rest of it. Act 7 is just one
who
page.
needs bookmarks?
Act 7, I know. It says that there's also an Act 7. Act 7 is just one page. There are, yeah. So we're gonna be only doing like like half of Act 6 for the next one, and I'm probably gonna actually give us a little more time than I gave us this time. So yeah. But with
That's
still,
good.
yeah, with still the expectation of, anyway. So I figured that probably the best way to start this off, because at this point you should know, yeah. So we got the trolls here. They had their own game session. It went well until
Oh,
the very
scrub.
end.
Or scrub.
Yeah, it went well until the very
Yeah.
end. They were denied their reward, and we don't really know too many of the details about all that quite yet. At least not the beginning. And so Act 5 is basically a flashback going back to before their session started, figuring out like what their deals are, right? Because they're like, the trolls are like really like melodramatic like teens, more so than the
That's
humans.
putting it mild.
More so than the humans. So they have a lot going on.
There is beef every single pester log. There is
They all have beef with each other. They're all incredibly granted, well, I'll get there when we get to the whole like troll relationship romance part of the explanation, but let's just start off with just basic lore. Let me just talk about my basic lore here. Alternia. Funny thing, I think Alternia, I believe, in the context of the comic, it might actually be an exonym, or like a kind of poor. Okay, why it's called Alternia is interesting. We'll like get to it when we get to it, but according to the troll language text that we see in that like early panel, they actually call it Troll Planet in their language. But I'm gonna call it Alternia though. But that's a neat little.
That's what it's
tidbit.
called. It's called Alternia, is the planet that they're on.
Again, seems dubious as to whether that's actually what they call it in their language.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they have many pester logs with the human children about the cultural differences and how they try to navigate that.
I mean, okay, I think actually linguistically the implications about the troll language are kind of interesting. I was reading a fic about it the other day that described it as a specific type of language. That's me getting really deep into linguistic nerd shit, and I don't know how interesting that's going to be to everyone else. So for now, all you need to know, there's the planet Alternia. There's a species on it called trolls. They look like these characters that I've drawn up here for you. If you're this deep into this book club, oh my god, go read Homestuck and go find out yourself.
Go read it. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's a total internet weird you need to experience.
The trolls are incredibly alien. Like culturally, they're kind of like Klingons. I think I think they even compare them to Klingons, like in the comic at one point. Very like warlike, very aggressive.
Very violent tendencies.
Yeah, they have a culture of survival of the fittest. And if you're not the fittest, you're just gonna die. They're gonna kill you. Actually, culling is like a common noun that just means basically execution, or basically that, just execution, or just
of the weak,
kind of thing, yeah.
Or the outcasted, or the people that they deem weak in their species.
Yeah. And as a result of their very weird Spartan, their very weird Spartan culture, this is a lot of mini knock-on effects with the characters, as various trolls seem to actually like kind of have to deal with that. You get the impression many times that despite despite how this is like how the culture is, none of them are really like this naturally for the most part, and have to kind of like put on a certain airs in order to conform properly, which I think is interesting.
I mean, I did have one question while reading it, which was like, I know they all have their custodians, right?
Yeah, the Lucis.
And the Lucius, and I'm like,
Lucis, not Lucius,
Lucis,
Lucis.
oh, Lucis, and I'm like, we have the trolls, but why do they not grow up to be like the Lucius, or do they? Are they like a completely like? Is it like a like, or is it like a like a what's it called
It's
in nature?
symbiotic
Symbiotic. So it's like
relationship.
two species working together
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure that was it, that was it. So I was like, okay, that's interesting.
So it's a symbiotic relationship. The Lucis actually seem to have the same blood color as the trolls that they pick up, but it's all symbiotic.
Okay.
And because trolls, well, one little thing about trolls, they don't raise their own young. This is mostly because they are, they're younger or hatched from eggs. They
Are they hatched from eggs
yeah.
from like the Lucis though?
No, the mother grub. Okay,
Okay, the mother grub. Okay,
okay,
I
okay,
know.
okay. We
Okay.
gotta take a step back. We gotta take a step
Sorry.
back. Gotta take a step back. Okay,
My
okay.
question's turning into a
So,
tangent.
okay, so basically how troll, I didn't think I'd bring up troll reproduction this quickly. So, troll reproduction, it's like with bees. Yeah, they can't reproduce on their own. They need like a queen of some kind. In this case, the queen is a mother grub. A kind
Got
of
it.
bug creature that, again, not actually a troll itself. It's like another symbiotic thing. Genetic material goes into buckets. Buckets go to mother grub. She lays like a shit ton of eggs at once. These eggs hatch, and these grubs pupate into youngins, toddlers. And after they go through, their trials in the brooding caves, whatever that means, they the trolls allude to them many times. They are able to leave should they survive them, and they can go out and be kids.
Got it. Okay, just making sure. I was wondering if the mother grub was like a separate entity compared to the Lucius,
Yes.
so I guess it is. Okay, got it.
Kinda. Again, a virgin mother grub is in fact Kanaya's Lucis, so looks like one can take up the
The role.
the role if it so
Okay.
desires. But yeah, no adults on the planet, and even before there were no adults on the planet, parents were not a thing. So yeah.
They're all orphans. Orphans.
Only orphans in the way that like turtles are orphans. It's like
Yeah.
it's just not the typical. It's just not the way their species does it.
Well, I mean, given how the tiers, I will say this, it makes sense in terms of like the tiers of how I feel like as you grow higher, like in the bloodline tier, the less like empathy and care or regard you have for other people kind of goes up.
Well, okay, that's interesting. So, okay, they have a thing called the hemospectrum. Yes, so the hemospectrum
Yes.
is basically you have it is a range of blood colors that goes from burgundy, rust color, all the way up to fuchsia. With in between you'll have your greens and your blues,
Violet.
greens, blues, violets. It's a spectrum. And basically you have your low bloods, your mid bloods, and your high bloods. And high bloods are like, your aristocrats. They're the top of the society. They're very aggressive,
elitist.
naturally, very elitist. And they basically want nothing more than for the lower classes to kiss their feet. Essentially. And the lower classes are numerous and powerful in their own way, but are held down through various mechanisms, through very social mechanisms. Now, of course, as we see, blood racism isn't like necessarily baked into into like the DNA of high bloods, but it is baked into their culture. And so they have to, so you'll have some that like Feferi that make a conscious decision to not be blood racist and to believe that there can be equality between them, and others like Equius that will not, and others like Eridan who's super will not. and then Gamzee, who seems to be too fucking high to even care about it half the time. That feels like as good of a well. Actually, other interesting things about them. Seems like they like slime. They like their slime. They have a lot of like biomechanical, type dealies. A lot of their machines seem to have like organic aspects to them. They're implied to be mildly cannibalistic, in a, like, they might eat their own young in certain circumstances, uh, that kind of thing. And also the romance, which we absolutely will not get into just a second. But
I was reading it going, what is
yeah,
this? I'm like, what?
the romance, which we'll save after
I'm like, what emotions count as not being interested like that?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with them. With them, it's like it basically. With them, it's basically like, yeah, either you have an emotion towards someone or you're like apathetic purely is the idea. There's also
Okay.
actually wanting to kill someone, which is generally not advisable if for your kismesis, but that's way getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, characters. So there are 12 trolls to keep track of. Yes. I figure we just go up the the zodiac, basically start with Aries and then finish off with Pisces.
Okay.
So I have I have Aradia or Aradia. I usually stick with Aradia, but I have
Aradia,
I have Aradia
Megiddo.
first. Which I have very few notes on her aside from just that we are introduced to her and she is dead before we're even introduced.
Yeah, she's a ghost that turns into a robot.
So an interesting reason to start with her is because with her, when we introduce to her, we see before even the robot thing, she's just a ghost at the start. Yeah. Eventually she gets a robot body that is produced to her like sometime during their session. But at the beginning, she is just a ghost on her planet, fucking with some old frog ruins that should be somewhat familiar by now. And talking to her her ex-boyfriend / kind of still boyfriend, Solux, about how they need to play this game. She's communing with other ghosts and hearing information, and she's strongly compelled to play this game, Scrub, as they call it. It's not Spurb, it's Scrub.
Scrub.
She conceals from him exactly why she wants to do this, but she insists that they need to.
Well, it's almost implied that it's inevitable that it's going to happen too. It's not like a option. Like, it's not even like an option that they can do. It's like, no, we're going to do this.
Inevitability is an interesting theme within this part of the comic, especially, that we're going to touch on many, many times as we go forward. So, I don't have much to say about her at this point, aside from just the fact that she is dead. It's our first little sprinkling of this little bit of backstory that we get with the trolls, that it seems like at some point they had some kind of incident that like tore up friendships, that hurt multiple people, and that literally killed someone, apparently. And they allude to it again and again and again, but we don't really get the details for a little while. But yeah, she's also kind of like, when she's dead, she doesn't have much personality is the thing. I think she's actually really fun once she, spoiler alert, gets brought back to life eventually.
Literally.
Everyone
Won't be the first time.
Won't be the first time, won't be the last time. She has a lot more personality there. As far as most of her existence though in Act 5 goes, she's relatively boring. Yeah, she doesn't have
She's benched.
Yeah, she doesn't have much to do, and because she's dead, she kind of lacks personality. She just kind of is very deadpan about most things. She occasionally manages to have a hint of humor to her, but it is a fraction of what you get from her when she's actually properly alive. But yeah, she's lowest in the totem pole. Aradia, a burgundy blood. Second highest, Tavros Nitram. He is the Taurus. He's the bronze blood. And okay, he is in a wheelchair. First thing you notice about him. He's also incredibly shy, kind of stammers a lot. and seems to have a toxic kind of thing going on with Vriska that I want to save until later.
Vriska is a lot. I
Vriska's
was like, man, she's
I have more
pain.
I have
She's
more
a pain to
notes.
deal with.
I have more notes on Vriska than I do literally any other character.
I'm not surprised. I
uh
was like, oh my gosh, this chick needs to calm down.
yeah.
We're going through this story.
She
I was
got
like, she's committing war
she got
crimes.
BPD real bad. Anyway, so Tavros is the interesting thing about Tavros, really, aside from his whatever he has going on with Vriska, is that he's basically a giant Peter Pan reference.
Poopa.
specifically a Hook reference. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen that movie, I will force you to see that movie at some point. Hook,
I've
starring
seen Hook.
Robin Williams. You've seen it?
Yes,
Good.
I have.
Good. Starring Dante Bosco, who still talks about Homestuck stuff to this day, because he's referenced to the character Rufio, who Tavros idolizes.
Look, I'm just happy when I clicked on the links that it wasn't freaking Nicolas Cage again. I'm like, how many freaking Nicolas Cages am I gonna see in this freaking
They show you the same
comic?
clip twice. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay, so Robin Williams plays a grown-up Peter Pan in this. It's wholesome and it's well made. The most important thing though is that young baby Dante Bosco plays a character named Rufio, who's like Peter Pan's successor. And Tavros idolizes him, and you later on find out exactly why Tavros idolizes him and why it's actually really ironic that Vriska like endlessly makes fun of him for thinking he's real. Like
She dogs on him so hard.
she
Like,
dogs on him so
she
hard.
roasted him so bad and reamed him every chance she could get.
Oh my god, I'm before I get mad about it, because she also actually thinks that Rufio is real, but she just pretends she doesn't to dunk on him. To like gaslight him, basically.
Literally. I mean, but that fits her manipulative personality though. So like,
It does.
it's not out of character.
Somehow the Tavros section was just about Vriska. Anyway, he has a whole arc in the comic that I think is really interesting that we'll get to when we get to. Solux, Gemini, yellow blood. He is directly paralleled to Dave multiple times, both through their aesthetics as well as how he also kind of has a bit of a, like, too cool for school kind of attitude.
He's just the super nerdy hacker, technology.
Yeah. But also,
guy.
like Dave, he's kind of a fucking dweeb, actually.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to take him too seriously. And also, I mean, maybe actually, Solux also has crippling self-esteem issues like Dave, but they present themselves in a very different way. Solux is a lot louder about his, I'll say.
I mean, he has literally
HR.
red and blue outbursts.
Hey Char, yeah, he has a psionic.
What's up, Char?
His psionics spelled with two twos and four eyes. These psionic outbursts. He canonically has bipolar disorder. And while sometimes this humorously presents itself in his really insane mood swings and how he gets quite angry, he has quite the temper. It also presents itself in how he genuinely comes across as like actually clinically depressed sometimes. I actually felt bad for this kid sometimes, I kind of say. Doesn't help that his girlfriend is like dead before the comic even starts, basically. So I think Arati was actually his boy rail, but whatever.
It explains the depression.
Yeah. They're actually, I think, unclear as to whether Aradia was his mate Sprit or Moirail. Some people theorize either one. Anyway, the closest we get to clarification is, I think, Briska calling her his girlfriend, but I think that's hardly an indication of anything. Anyway, he has a bunch of, I think he's where we really get to see some of the kind of gross techno-organic machinery they have.
The honey machinery, like the mined honey.
The the Hive servers, the like grubs laying around that actually have games programmed onto them. I'm not even actually sure that those aren't like troll grubs. Who knows?
They don't specify.
They don't specify. They never specify. And he also dies pretty early on, but he gets better actually much quicker. Through Solix, we see a bit of it. We see we're introduced to this mechanic in the game, which is that if someone dies and you kiss them, you smooch them on their little lips, they come back to life as their dream self. And he's also unique in that he has two dream selves, one on Prospit and one on Durst, rather than just the usual one. So he gets 2 extra lives. And also through that revival, we get the little hint that him and Pfeffery have a little something going on. I like Solix. Solix was one of those characters that I didn't care for much when I was growing up reading the comic, but now that I'm rereading it, I actually like him quite a bit, and I'm kind of sad that he's not very important post Act 5 now.
I mean, I thought he was interesting for like his, technology skills. I mean, he's the reason why they're able to even begin the game.
I think he's interesting, and
Hive servers.
He's interesting, and actually, I quite like his whole friendship that he has going on with Karkat. I think it's like an underestimated bit of the comic.
Well, it is a foil between Dave and John and Solix and Karkat. It kind of is like an alignment there.
Yeah, for sure. Charizard as a nerd
as
kid.
a nerd kid with a, that's fair.
I understand that. Solix I like. I was gonna say actually that the relationship is underestimated, but Soulcat was actually a pretty popular ship back in the day, and a lot of people to this day are like, oh yeah, they had some kind of like black romance thing going on that they could never manage to commit to because these trolls flop between romances every 5 seconds. But
I couldn't keep up with it. I was just like, oh my gosh, pick a lane.
listen. I don't know, gun to my head, if I have to pick between Black Soul Cat or Black Dave Cat, I don't think I could. I don't think I could manage it. I think I just have to say, just shoot me, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Shoot me, actually. Anyway, but speaking of that, Karkat Valdes. Okay, so if I think about Karkat, because I'm going to mention a lot of ships as we go through here. Half of the ships are going to have to do with Karkat. You have to understand that Karkat back in the day was the fandom bicycle. Do you understand that term?
No, I don't. I've never heard that term.
Okay, so a bicycle is a kind of crass term having to do with a sexually promiscuous person. Everyone gets a ride. Where a fandom bicycle is the character in the fandom that everyone has gotten shipped with at some point.
Okay, so AKA the community fan favorite.
Yeah, basically. But like Karkat, everyone's gotten shipped with him at some point. More so even than some other fandoms that I've seen. Like everyone. Karkat is a little hoe in a good way. He actually probably is actually a pale hoe a little bit, but we'll get there. Anyway, he's Cancer. He is a red blood, but this is a mutation. So Karkat isn't on the hemo spectrum. He is a mutant blood, slightly implied to basically be a mutated version of a lime blood, a caste that no longer exists. Mostly in the fact that if you actually put all the Zodiac, if you line them all up, he's in between Solux, the yellow blood, and Nepeta, the olive blood. And it is stated multiple times that there was once a caste of lime bloods. So just based off of that, some circumstantial evidence, people said, yeah, he's probably just like a mutated lime blood. And he is me. He's me. He's me. He's me.
He's you.
He's so shouty. He's. I'm not shouty and angry, but
he's
I am
high strung though.
Yeah, I am a little high strung, and I am very fucking talkative, and I am annoyed when people don't read my fucking text posts. And I am a fucking windbag, about most things. So on those counts, I relate to him.
That's fair.
And I do like him an awful lot. I think especially out of all the trolls, he's probably the most. I think yeah, it's actually yeah, not even controversial to say he's definitely the most empathetic out of all the trolls. And probably
Oh
one
yeah,
of the
that's his
more
weakness. He cares the most.
yeah, and probably one of the more relatable ones out of the trolls. Char's a huge bitch. That's why he likes Vriska. And Char, you misspelled huge bitch. Char, you misspelled. You misspelled it. There you go. I fixed it for
Oh
you.
my gosh.
I fixed it for you.
It literally is like, I will admit, reading Homestuck, it can become a headache reading all the different ways they type, all this stuff out. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I started to get used to it after a while. I can reproduce a lot of the typing quirks without even thinking about it.
I mean, at some point we have to highlight white text because you can't freaking read it normally.
Char says your brain autocorrects the most heinous shit now. That's the thing with me. I mean, like, God, for me, the only everything else, I was like, I'm fine with. The only two that I start to struggle with is Terezi, in like huge quantities. I struggle with Terezi, and like Gamzee before he loses his shit. I really start to struggle with after when the blocks get too large. Everyone else, I'm pretty okay with. Everyone else
Gamzee
is
was
pretty simple.
unhinged.
Gamzee gets interesting. Okay, so Karkat. So he likes talking a lot, and he likes talking about romance a lot in particular. And through him, we get a lot of info dumping about how exactly quadrants work. Which is also kind of funny. They talk about romance a lot since he actually seems personally very incompetent in it. Though I guess that makes sense for a 13-year-old who's like obsessed with rom-coms.
Yeah, I mean, we're not expecting a 13-year-old to be an expert.
We get to see him fumble time after time after time, again and again and again. Basically, he fumbles Solix, he fumbles Terezi, like it keeps happening.
It's okay. There's
Fumbles
a whole fandom
John.
that wants him.
Fumbles John. Oh my gosh. But yeah. He's also like. Sometimes kind of a dick in a way that's really glib. Like there's one instance where he gives a whole romance lore dump and is talking about like Tabros a lot. And he basically just tells Vriska that she's like unlovable. Which is maybe like coming from him. He was like it was like one of the harshest things anyone has said to her, probably actually. And she later calls him the most empathetic one out of them all. So that's. Interesting. But it was funny because I'm not even sure if he meant it to be mean, but it came across as very mean. But also here's an interesting thing here. So Car gets candy mutant red blood. I think it's interesting for a couple of lore reasons. And I wonder if you picked up on these the same way I did, or if I've just had to think about Homestuck for far too long at this point. You still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just listening.
Okay. Oh, you're
I'm
listening. You're listening so well.
I'm sorry for being the good listener.
Oh no. Okay. I didn't expect to get this far. Shit. Okay. Anyway. So if you haven't been paying attention, any sort of disability or anomaly will get you executed in Troll Society, and that's not great.
Well, I mean, survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, that obviously fits that narrative.
Which, funny enough, a lot of people point out that, like,
which is horrible, but
like how many of these guys would actually be culled upon reaching adulthood? So yeah, Karkat, Tavros, Arati is already dead. Solx wouldn't get culled, but arguably, what would happen to him would be worse.
Wouldn't he be like enslaved or something?
He'd be enslaved.
Like,
he'd be
to
enslaved
work.
and he would not even to work. You saw what the Condas did to the helmsman. They just hook him up to a ship. You don't get to think anymore. You're a battery for a ship.
Yeah, that's worse. That's not. Yeah. That's literally like you don't get to be your own person anymore.
Gamzee would likely be culled. Terezi would likely be culled. maybe even Vriska, honestly, non-zero chance. Things weren't looking. I mean, the contest is very hot. That is fair, Char. She's incredibly attractive. Also helps. Char, I think for you and I, it also helps that the contest is like, okay, Quickspeed, you don't know this yet, but she's like lightly based off of Nicki Minaj as far as her like appearance and vibe and personality go.
I did not know that. Okay.
I think that helps with us. I had the hugest crush on Nicki Minaj when I was growing up. Less so now, because she's kind of not the best person, but still.
Oh no, another celebrity goes down the drain. What's new?
Who didn't love Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj is kind of
Yeah,
Nicki
that's
Minaj is
fair.
kind of shitty, but like and not just in she's I think isn't she like married to a predator right now and like really outspokenly defends him and Char, thank you for the sub. Thank you.
Nice.
Anyway,
Thank you,
can't believe I
Charizard.
earned that with my Nicki Minaj's husband is a predator talk.
I mean,
Anyway.
I don't follow celebrities, so like I wouldn't know. It's just
Yeah,
not that
yeah.
sphere that I'm into.
And
But
again
like,
not like
yeah,
predator is in sets and bad tweets. I mean predator is on the sexual offender registry.
damn.
Yeah.
There's
Anyway.
there's paperwork. There's no arguing on that.
Oh yeah, no, there's a paper trail. Um. Anyway, thank you. Oh yeah, also happy birthday. I forgot it was your birthday. Dang, happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
10/25. Must be great to have your birthday be on a Homestuck day.
Talk about the stars literally aligning.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, the hemo spectrum. So if you look at the hemo spectrum, right? So you get like a pretty, a little bit about art. You get the good little spectrum of burgundy to fuchsia, right, with all the blues
Yeah.
in between. So the thing is though, is that the hemo spectrum becomes a circle if you add the candy blood, because the candy red is a good midpoint between burgundy and fuchsia, and it kind of like yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, Char gets it. Yeah, it kind of, the reason why I think the mutant red blood is so dangerous is because what it does is it completely upsets the balance of the hemo spectrum from the Empress's point of view, right? If there can be a link between the lowest blood and the highest blood, then that means that the Empress's position no longer really means
It's
anything, does
it's
it?
called into question.
It's not a straight line, it's a circle. So yeah. So that's the main reason why it's as dangerous as it is. And the main reason why, well, we'll learn about Karkat's ancestors later. I love the ancestors so much, by the way. If I ever write a Homestuck fanfiction, it's definitely going to be about the ancestors. I love them a lot.
The ancestors look so cool.
I can't wait for you
And-
to.
and
I
just
can't
a
wait for
side
you to meet
point-
the young versions of them.
The freaking like art budget went through the roof in
Oh,
this
yeah. Oh,
in
yeah.
this section. It looks so much cleaner.
Oh yeah. But yeah. Anyway. Also Karkat, and now we got that lore shit bullshit out of the way. Karkat is canonically Angie in short. I like that.
He's freaking short. It's okay,
Yeah,
I'm short
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Angie in short according to Equius, and a cutie pie according to Teresi. Anyway, where were we? What other notes do I have here aside from that Karkat takes self-loathing to a new level? I think that's
He really does though.
Yeah,
he really
yeah.
does.
yeah, as well as Vriska's analysis on him. I think that's good stuff to say for later. Nepeta is she's Leo, she's an olive blood. She's a
She's
furry.
The cat, yeah, the cat
She's a furry.
troll.
I like Nepeta,
But she's so cute though.
I like Nepeta, but I'm gonna put her in the category of trolls I don't have that much to say on, just because she doesn't like do much. Char, yes, she's Char. The thing is, if she was just a cat, I'd be like, okay, whatever. She does furry roleplay, Char. She does furry roleplay, Char. That's a different thing. If it weren't for that,
Yeah.
I'd say she's. If it weren't for that, I'd say she's just a cat. It's fine, but she's a furry. The most important part about Nepeta, honestly, well, two things: one, she has a huge crush on Karkat, and two, she is Moirails with Equius, a high blood, which has interesting implications.
So yeah, I was about to say that the only thing notable was the relationship with Equius, where Yeah,
I heard like a
clearly
loud,
he.
heard like a loud like no background.
Oh, cats.
Okay. But yeah. Have anything else to note, or I'll just move on to Kanaya?
IQS dotes on her a little bit, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, he dotes on her, and despite the outward appearances at first, you later find they have a very nice, very reciprocal relationship that like is genuinely sweet.
It is. It's very like more mellow. It's actually a nice, refreshing mellowness compared to the intensity of all the trolls constantly.
I don't know if you took the time to play through to like really like dig into some of the video game sections, specifically their section at the beginning where you can like have them have a little feelings jam and she pounces on him and they like talk a lot. It's so sweet. And then it
I don't
leads
think I
into the
got that
worst
section,
thing
but
possible.
yeah, and well, yeah, then it leads into like, oh, the
You
freaking
might
alien Final Destination shit.
you might want to replay some of the video game sections if you didn't
I mean,
get
I
that.
explored as much as I could, but I clicked on everything and explored every nook and cranny. But there's a possibility I missed something.
I found myself a lot of the times replaying sections just so I can get every single character interaction, especially.
Okay. When I talked to everyone, I've opened every
Yeah.
chest.
And talk to everyone as everyone because you can also switch point of views.
Yeah, you can switch characters.
Yeah. That was Lance Lolcat.
Which, by the way, was like super interesting. Like, there's.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god, Char.
It's like the fact that you're playing a comic.
Did you see what Char mentioned? That Nepida's land is Lolcat, land of little cubes and tea.
What?
I didn't. Why did I not notice that?
Why did I not catch
Why
that?
did I not
Little
notice?
cubes and tea.
Lolcat. Horrible. Horrible. Okay, Kanaya. She's a Virgo. She's a Jade blood. Shout out to
liked
Kanaya.
Kanaya.
She would have loved Twilight. She's like a nerd about vampires. She's also a terminal meddler / mediator who really needs to get away from all these melodramatic assholes because she's too good for them.
She really is. I liked her a lot.
We stand Kanaya
Which
in
makes
this
sense.
house.
I'm a Virgo. Makes sense.
If Karkat is the most empathetic, she's the most reasonable one that I find myself just genuinely agreeing with at any given time. She also has a giant crush on Rose, and I love the little troll Sona she imagines Rose at. Kanaya's whole little like crush / growing relationship with Rose is maybe the sweetest thing on the planet. It's like it's just really good in the midst, again, Kanaya being reasonable again in the midst of all these melodramatic assholes flipping around, kissing each other, dropping and creating relationships on the drop of a hat. Kanaya there just has a crush on Rose, and it just remains consistent.
Well, and between the two of them, like, it's a very like,
Very subdued kind of relationship.
yeah, subdued, like, once again mellow. I mean, it's
That
kind of
means
like a
subdued
nice
people.
contrast
Yeah.
compared to once again the intensity and, like, as you said, the craziness and chaos of everyone else.
I mean, she starts out as Moirails with Vriska. Holy
Wow.
shit.
That is Vriska, though. Vriska's gonna be problematic no matter what frame she's
Yeah.
in.
Somehow I have very little notes on Terezi. Terezi Pyro. She's Libra, she's teal blood. I love Terezi and her two-face coin and all of her lawyer shtick. Terezi, I think, is actually a really interesting character, and I think there's actually a lot to say about her, so I'm shocked that I have so few notes on her.
I thought what's notable is that even though she's blind, I thought it was funny that she could snip and lick screens and actually get information that way. I'm like, okay, what?
You know, I think actually the reason why I have so few notes on her is because so many of her notes got relegated to the relationship section. Because her relationship with Vriska, they were just friends in this case, is incredibly, incredibly interesting. And the relationship itself says a lot about Terezi's character. So, I might as well say it here because Vriska's section is next here. So Vriska and Terezi were very good friends at one point before the incident happens. The incident that killed Aradia, paralyzed Tavros, and blinded Terezi.
Which is really bad.
Which is quite bad. Before all this, Vriska and her were very good friends. They were a pair of flarpers, something, it's like, I think literally like They don't ever say what the F stands for. Live action role play. Basically basically like troll child blood sport, more or less. Because people actually like get very hurt and die, and that's kind of, it might be fatal, but they don't actually specify. Um, but yeah, it's troll child blood sport in which maiming and killing each other is not only encouraged, it's expected. Um, and they were incredibly, incredibly good at it. Basically, Vriska would use her mind control powers that she has as a blue blood. She has like some subtle mind control powers. She can't like completely take control of people, but she can kind of suggest them to do things or take control of their body for maybe a few seconds. So she would use those powers to manipulate people, and Terezi would just use good old fashioned mind games. And through that, they were, yeah, outright stated to have killed many, many people, in a way that is even by troll standards considered to be kind of intense.
Like a mini genocide.
Yes, and Vriska is very much framed as being the worse of the two in a lot of ways, especially since throughout the comic she repeatedly does things that seem to be against everyone's best interests for the sake of her own glory or other. Her motivations are interesting and multi-layered. But she insists that Terezi's the worst of the two of them. And the further on I got in the comic, the more I started to realize that she might have had a point. I really like Terezi, but yeah, it's kind of hard to, I mean, especially considering their whole, like, you can just kind of see how the whole thing between John and Dave there. And you could argue that Terezi's whole thing with Dave ends up a bit more positively, but they both at some point convince their respective human boys to kill themselves, and like
Yeah.
and they both manage to do things that are incredibly, incredibly shady time and time again. Yeah, neither of them necessarily come out of it looking the best. Terezi just manages to end up on the right side of history due to a couple of key choices that Vriska makes. But at the end of the day, you kind of do get this feeling that, like, well, whatever Vriska believes in herself, I suppose, she does really believe in it. Where Terezi, her belief system seems a bit more gray.
I mean, it I don't disagree with you, honestly, about that, because the difference is Vriska is more intentional. Her intent is more, like, on point with her own, like, as you said, her own moral standings and how she just, in general, like, she's like, I have a goal and I'm gonna go achieve that goal. And she doesn't mind, you, like you said, using her psychic powers to actually manipulate and involve and meddle into situations that change the outcome. Versus Terezi, it's almost like there's this little bit of, like, moral blindness to the consequences. She's like,
I'm just ironic, gonna, like, considering she actually knows the consequences of almost every action due to her status as a seer of mind.
And she's like, yeah, but still, like, this blind, like, narrow path that she's like, it's gonna happen anyways. And that's why she has kind of, like, nonchalance about it too.
Yeah, she seems to be very nonchalant, is maybe the right way to put it. I mean, later on you do see her actually have a heart about some of the actions she takes, but
well, yeah, she literally flipped out when Dave, like, she
died. She cries when justice is blind, is that what comics say? Yeah, it's definitely a play on all that. But yeah, with Vriska though, with her it really is like, okay, I guess the thing with Vriska is that you get the feeling that she actually has, in her own way, authentically absorbed some of the values of her culture of being very dog eat dog and, having, self-improvement through pain and suffering. And there is almost something admirable in that. it's fucked up and it hurts most of the people around her, but there is almost something admirable about that. And why don't we just like rip off the band-aid and just actually properly call this the Vriska section? This is the Vriska Circuit section now. She's a Scorpio, she's cerulean or blue blood. She's incredibly borderline personality disorder coded. Starts off, she's Moirels with Kanaya, who's basically the only friend she has at the moment due to the incident causing pretty much every one of her former friends to no longer want to speak to her. Not even in a, like, ribbing, aggressive way that the trolls seem to speak to each other when they're hate friends or whatever they call it. They just basically don't want to talk to her anymore. Not even, like, Karkat.
Yeah.
On Vriska, also, you'll like this. I kind of put her in the same camp as Loki, in my opinion.
Really? I mean...
So, okay.
All right.
Hear me out.
All right. I can... Okay.
So she does bad things and hurts people and is basically a sociopath, but also seems to feel bad about the things she does and wishes she could change, while also feeling like a slave to her nature and circumstances and feeling like she's done so much bad shit, basically the only way through is forward. She also suffers from being not as smart as she thinks she is, as most people pretty consistently see through her. Even Tavros sees through her, understands what she was trying to do, he just didn't want to play along, and that's what pissed her off. One little note in the comic is that when she gets upset, she starts including more eights into her words, and when you realize that her friends know this too, a few exchanges make her come across as much more pathetic than she would have otherwise if you didn't know that. So yeah, that was my initial analysis on her, basically.
I mean, it's basically the saying of, like,
Yeah.
put down the shovel and quit digging, but she just keeps digging.
She can't stop. But also in all of this, she's at the end of the day a much more fragile character than what you would initially assume.
Well, yeah, I mean, anyone who's striving to be more powerful and for power and control usually has an underbelly of, like, insecurity.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I talk about anything else with her, I'm going to go into spoilers. How about, let's hop around a little bit and let's actually discuss the incident. Now that we've discussed all the characters that were involved in it, and then we'll get back to the characters starting with Equius.
All right.
So
That's that. Okay.
Like I said, no jumping around for the sake of trying to make this make some sense.
I honestly will be very interested to see how they animate it if the pilot, gets it greenlit, because
they'll have to actually make things somewhat chronological.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna do that, honestly.
Looking forward to it. Also, can you imagine? You know what I need in my soul?
What do you need?
I need Dante Bosco to play Rufio. Even if they have I know they'll have to, like, rename him, right? Because, like, they can't, they're probably not going to want to get the rights to, like, actual, like, Hook, they're going to have to rename him to something else.
Yeah, probably.
Like, Char. What I need is at least Dante, if not, like, voicing Ancestor Rufio in a flashback, he needs to voice the Dancestor version of him. Right? Like, right?
I need Dante to voice someone.
I don't know. I don't know how the copyright of that works, but I'd imagine maybe they might want to rename him. If they did, it wouldn't be. If they did, if they did, everyone would know.
Reference.
Yeah, like, everyone would know.
Yeah, they would know.
You just JoJo's it. Just give it a name a little bit to the left. Anyway, the accident. Nearly every character has referenced some kind of role-playing based accident that left multiple trolls disabled. Dante voiced the Dancestor version of Fanpod. Let's read Homestuck. He also read most of the comic. Yeah, see, he needs to read the Dancestor. He needs to play the Dancestor version of him. He needs to. Just do the Zuko voice. Just please. It would work perfectly. Anyway. Okay, so the accident that left multiple trolls disabled. It took a little bit, but eventually we got the full story. Yeah, so part 1 of the accident. So, Vriska, she jumps Tavros off a cliff. Like, jumps him off a cliff. Takes control of his brain for a second to have him jump himself off the cliff.
Which is insane.
She does this as basically punishment. So she's had a bit of a crush on Tavros, basically, from pretty early on. And the only way she really knew how to express that was through some pretty intense extreme pigtail pulling, essentially. AKA she bullies him really, really relentlessly in a way that's kind of uncomfortable sometimes. This escalates until basically she's playing a flarp game with him and is insisting that he fight these enemies that are way above his level, something that would definitely actually get him hurt.
Again,
He
yeah.
refuses, kind of seeing how unfair the situation is and not really wanting to play into whatever the fuck she's trying to do here. It's like relatively clear that he doesn't really have feelings for her the same way she does him. And it repeatedly gets kind of uncomfortable the more you realize that this is the case.
Yeah, he's not interested in her at all.
Yeah. She jumps him off a cliff, and as a result, he breaks his legs and presumably also damages his spine. He is in a wheelchair from here on out.
He does get robo legs though.
Eventually, but not for a
Eventually.
while. Not for a little while, and honestly, not until it no longer matters that much. But anyway, the robo legs are more to set him down a specific personal character arc that I'll get to when we get to. So yeah. Where am I here? Oh yeah, so, to spoil a bit, she's bullying Tavros in hopes of making him man up a bit because she likes him, or at least is fascinated with the romance her and his ancestors got up to. The issue is, of course, that this kind of bullying usually doesn't result in the victim manning up, just results in them getting hurt real bad, I find people tend to be either really pro Tavros or very pro Vriska, right? Usually you're not going to have someone that's both. I try to be more pro. They're both very flawed characters, but in this case, Vriska was definitely in the wrong, and she probably should have just left him alone and maybe gotten a lithium prescription. But that's just me. That's just me. But yeah, also to be fair, she does have exactly zero people skills whatsoever because of the pretty intense bullshit that actually her spider mom puts her through. One of the reasons why she murders so many at such an intense scale is because she needs to feed trolls to her spider mom. Her Lucis is a particularly demanding, very hungry giant spider. Yeah. And if she does not feed it, non-zero chance it would just eat her. Very much the troll version of a
situation to be in.
Very much the troll version of an abusive parent.
Yeah. Not very caring, just feed me servant.
Mm-hmm. We later get a neglectful parent in the form of Gamzee's Lucis, but that's later.
Yeah, who just disappears into the ocean and never comes back.
Yep. But yeah, okay, so Vriska paralyzes Tavros, and then Aradia, being understandably quite pissed that she's done this, she sends the ghosts of all of the people that Vriska killed to haunt her. And Vriska,
wigs out.
Yeah, she doesn't take this very well. Maybe for obvious reasons, she doesn't take this very well.
Yeah.
And she takes it so poorly that she pretty much immediately mind controls Solux to send him to kill his own girlfriend, Aradia. This is how Aradia dies. And yeah, though granted, a lot of people were actually, because she kept on messaging them after she died, some trolls actually seemed confused as to whether she was dead or not. But yeah, she is in fact dead. Solux kills her. And is absolutely devastated by it. This seems to be around the time where he starts to really be getting haunted with, messages of doom and whispers from the soon to be dead and all of those things. He's haunted by all sorts of horrors, all sorts of nonsense, to the point where you start to understand why he's so damn mentally ill. But yeah. And so this results in the additional revenge, because the revenge keeps going. Terezi tells on Vriska about something. So Vriska has this item that was alluded to by Jade earlier in the comic, a magic cue ball, if you remember. Jade had all these magic 8 balls, but like she makes a joke about how they don't actually work and how they're really imprecise and ha ha ha. Magic 8 balls are fake, fake, fakey, fake
Yeah,
bullshit.
like they're not like actual outcomes and it's stupid.
Yeah, she mentions some legend that she heard about the magic cue ball actually being completely accurate, but she doesn't have the any way to see through to see through it since it has no viewport. Vriska has a magic cue ball, and she has a special eye with these special glasses that let her see through it. She got this thing through. I forgot actually how she got it. I'm being real. I forgot.
I actually kind of I don't that was earlier in the comic.
Yeah,
I just know it exploded, but
yeah. Well, she got it from this guy called Doc Scratch, who is the first guardian of Alternia. A guardian is like an ultra powerful, omniscient, nuclear coded being that just looks after the fate of a planet.
like Beck.
Like Beck. Beck is Earth's, as you find out, or as you understand. And so Terezi tells on her. She tells Doc Scratch what she has, and he explodes the thing while she's holding it.
And she loses her eye
Loses her eye and loses her arm.
and arm.
And so the final, well, not quite the final bit of revenge, but nearly the final bit of revenge is that Vriska, in her anger, she has to do like a double psychic reach around. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She like did a chain link.
Yeah. So she mind controls Tavros. Tavros has the ability to talk to mind control and talk to animals, who mind controls Terezi's Lucis, a dragon who mind controls Terezi to go stare at the sun. Which normally, even with humans, staring at the sun too long
And goes blind.
you. But the troll sun's even worse, and the trolls are very susceptible to it. It's like a red giant that's like really close to their planet. It's like literally not safe to be out most of the time during the day. So yeah, then that's how the chain goes. There's some revenge later because then later Robot Aradia literally beats Vriska to death for all that.
Like no, not even sugarcoating it. Like literally beats
That happens
the beat down of everything. Like she bleeds out and dies.
That happens in S Make Her Pay. S Make Her Pay is when Char fell for Vriska fully. But yeah, that's the exact bit where you see how all of it went down in the end. The song kicks absolute ass, and yes, Aradia beats Vriska to death. Doesn't stick, but well, we'll get to exactly how she gets out of that later. Okay, back to the characters. Back to Equius.
Yes, Equius.
Back to Equius. This is making me very glad that I organized.
Dude is a certified freak.
Equius certified freak. Equius a hawk. He's a Sagittarius. He's indigo blood. Here arrives Equius, an actual blood racist. Well, maybe not the most blood racist, but he basically exists to introduce you to the concept here. Also, he loves horsecock. Okay.
Dude's a freak.
He's an absolute freak. He has a lot of like centaur furry porn on his walls, which is referred to as like high art. In Troll Society, the muscle beast art, when it's like I think Hussey literally actually got those commissions. I think he like actually paid for those commissions.
Paid for them.
Yeah, from like DeviantArt artists. He like, I mean, I'd hope he paid for all the art he got in this comic. He made a lot of money.
I would assume he did.
In this case, he went out to find like furry artists on DeviantArt and was like, I will pay you this amount of money for some commissions. And they were like, sure. I think he has the uncensored version somewhere.
Probably
has him on his desktop still. But yeah. Okay, so I gotta admit something. Okay, so everyone has their favorite troll. Yeah, so but everyone has their favorite troll. Yes, but also everyone has their favorite troll amongst the ones that objectively suck. Right? You got Eridan lovers, you got Equius lovers, you got Vriska lovers amongst the post Scratch gang. Anyway, I liked Equius.
You liked Equius?
I liked Equius. I liked Equius. Okay. So, I mean, he's a weird classist freak. Yeah. Like, but I guess I saw his relationship with Nepeta and thought there was some potential there. And also some of the fan art drew him as tall, big, strong man. And 13-year-old me had a crush, I guess. Anyway, yeah, Charles like, oh, it's a freak. Listen, big man, friendship with tiny cat girl, inherently good. Inherently
Okay,
good.
we all like a softie. I get your point.
Inherently good. Like, and also I think it's pretty easy to see, like, I mean, the funny thing is that I think Aridin is more popular of the, like, Aridin and Vriska are a lot more
Really?
popular, right?
I don't like Aridin.
Aridin is definitely more popular than Equius. And to me, that's slightly surprising now in I mean, I understand why he was, because he's like designed based, like his visual design is that of a Tumblr sexy man, right? He was like visually destined.
Okay, well that yeah,
You know?
yeah. Just do a Google search of the artwork and yeah, you'll see how people draw him.
Yeah,
Checks
yeah.
out.
But like, I think that's kind of funny because if you because like, out of the three of them, I would say that Equius and Vriska are the ones that you get the feeling where if they got the opportunity, they probably would have been the ones to change, actually, genuinely. They probably would have been the ones to have been able to. Also, yeah, Aridin was a diva, I guess, but like he also was very dead set on doubling down on absolutely everything. He was we'll get to him when we get to him, but like he's a horrible person and he does not seem particularly inclined to change because people all the time tell him that he's doing bad shit and then he's wrong about things all the time and he doesn't care and he doesn't listen. Where Vriska,
No.
we see her like second guess herself and rethink what the things she's done is doing all the time. And Equius, you feel like, isn't far behind. Right? He's genuinely friends with Nepeta. He genuinely cares for her. He is like, you start to see him question his own like views of blood supremacy now and again. You start to see him like poke holes in his own logic about it. And yeah, some of it's kind of like, haha, see, none of this makes sense. But like, I don't know. I also kind of read it as like, you know, he's 13, he's young. Aridin kind of changes later in spoiler. We'll get there when we get there. That's way, way later. But like, yeah, Equius, you start to see signs that maybe he would change if given time and a chance. And I guess if he's reflecting his ancestor there, then they're kind of also both like people who more or less changed at like, you know, too little too late a little bit. Though to get into a bit of a spoiler, you know, a spoiler as far as this discussion goes, a lot of people point out that if Gamzee had killed Nepeta first, he probably would have locked the fuck in. Saved us all a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, if Gamzee did kill Nepeta first,
he would have locked the fuck in.
Yeah, he would have
locked the fuck in.
He would have. It would have been on site.
Would have been on site. He would have locked in. He would have locked in. Everyone knows this. There's been multiple comics about it. Like, yeah, he would have locked in. I'm sorry, we all know this. Our clown problem would no longer be a problem.
Oh, do you think he could have? I thought Gamzee was higher. Is he not?
Gamzee's higher, but Gamzee's higher, but Equius is stronger physically.
That's okay. That's fair.
Equius just didn't actually try to hit him. Is the issue? Equius didn't fight back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Partially out of confusion, partially because he was getting off on it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I find myself halfway between being kind of disgusted and kind of like intrigued, I guess, by him as a character. I appreciate him as a kind of weird, kinky gag character. Also, I immediately derailed myself in my notes being like, God, the glass of fresh Lucis milk straight from Arthur's teat. I'm losing my mind.
I'm sorry. I was like, look, I'm reading through this comic going, it's kinky in here. I'm like, what the heck?
Equius is a character that contains multitudes, and I mean, I can go within the span of one single panel from being like, oh, this is such an interesting character, such an interesting aspect of him, to what the fuck,
No,
actually.
Equius is literally his own warning. That should say enough.
Oh yeah, like literally just him like role playing is. I have so many Equius notes just because of how many times I just had to like take a second to describe how disgusted I was. Him getting into weird, like him coaching Gamzee into role playing a BDSM scenario in which he's here to punish Gamzee for being a very bad boy. No, Gamzee's here to punish him for being a very bad boy. Just Quickspeed. When I told you to read Homestuck, do you ever consider that might be something I'd?
No, no.
God, Equius.
Good time to come in. No context.
We're here for this part of the discussion right now. I haven't gotten there yet. Not right this second, but it's like next in my notes. It's like we're going character by character for the sake of like some amount of organization. But yeah, okay. To bring it back though a bit, you see the end there. Equius is having second thoughts, clearly rethinking the whole classism thing, as he forms relationships with other trolls and grows more critical about the situation, and then immediately ruins it by being creepy to robot Aradia.
Yeah,
And
I hate to say it, but do you think part of him questioning it is just because he's kind of a switch? I mean,
oh my god, maybe. Oh my gosh, maybe. I mean, I don't know if he's a switch. He strikes me as like a submissive top, I guess. Let's not. I don't want to get too far into my headcanons. Anyway, he's like constantly. Oh my god, what fucking note did? I'm not gonna say that note out loud. That's for me and God.
Oh, okay.
It's for me and God.
Wipe it out in black ink.
It's for me and God. Let's move right past that. Anyway, this is more honestly, this whole entire thing is just him like being this close to goddamn nutting, and him just being an absolute freak towards Aradia, and maybe there being some layers in there that express his questioning his whole like classism thing. And yeah, I get. Honestly, the very last note here I have on his character is that is that he has a rap battle with Dave, where, like, especially compared to the rap battle that Tavros has with him, you actually get the feeling that Equius is somewhat competent at it. He has like a decent flow, and actually like he's like pretty good with like creating rhyming structures, and like it all reads pretty well. Me saying, coming from someone who like, I listen to rap music, but like I don't, I'm not an expert.
I'm not either. I don't really listen to rap music either.
But no, I at least listen to it. I need to fucking get you up on the culture. I don't even get you up on the culture.
It's not really my type of music.
Don't embarrass me like that ever again. I need to. You're getting assigned some music today, apparently, from that. Don't embarrass me ever again.
She's gonna drop the Spotify list on me.
I am. Don't embarrass me ever again. Anyway. This is a black channel, Quickspeed. This is a black channel. Don't embarrass me ever again.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway.
I'm too ghostly to do this.
Anyway,
I literally have two settings, chat. I either burn or I'm pale as crap.
Char's like, yeah. Anyway, Equius immediately makes it weird by making about centaur cock again. Like halfway in. Equius starts making around centaur cock again, and I just like had to put my like hand, I had like my head on my desk. It blended together really well, but Dave lost it is the thing. Dave lost it. It was really funny. Anyway, Gamzee. Those like actually all of my Equius notes. I didn't even save any for spoilers. That's pretty much all of them. We'll get back to him when we get to the relationship stuff and when we get to the part where he fucking dies, because at this point I've spoiled that part.
It's all right.
Anyway, Gamzee. He's Capricorn, purple blood. He's high all the time.
I don't like clowns.
Were you scared by the clown bit? Were you scared by the clown bit once you get spooky?
I was like, this is creepy. I'm not a fan. I'm like, it's a horror game now.
Yeah, Gamzee's Carcat's friend, who's always high as fuck and always going on about miracles. And also he says motherfucker a lot. He says motherfucker so much that I think he's like the single best argument as to why Vivzy Pop could not possibly add more swearing to Homestuck. Like, could not possibly add more swearing to every other word this guy says is motherfucker. I mean, okay, yeah. Specifically, I was at, oh my god, what am I doing? Pause stream right now. I need to go get my Faygo. What am I doing sitting here without drinking it? I purchased the Faygo specifically for stream. Let me be right back.
You forgot about the Faygo. You even told me about it.
Let me get right back to you. We almost committed sin. I'm so glad I managed to avoid that. Anyway, I got my red pop Faygo.
Nice, I heard it.
There we go. Oh my, well, why does this taste, oh my god. Oh. Oh my god.
Is it bad?
Oh, it tastes like the color red.
Does it taste like, what's it called? FDA
oh my god.
Not approved, red 40?
It tastes like FDA non-approved red 40 and corn syrup. Oh my god. Oh my, this honestly this is
bleh.
Oh my, this is like the same as the funny thing for another stream. Bleh, bleh. For another stream, this is I had like the pineapple orange one. I'm shocked at how similar they taste.
They taste the same?
Yeah. They all kind of just
It's probably just straight sugar then.
Yeah. It is. It's like a lot of sugar. I bought 6 of them.
What's the back of the label say?
Let's see. It's horrific. I remember. It's horrific. 69 grams of sugar. It's actually lower than the other one that I had. It's actually lower.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I think Coca-Cola's like more. I want to look this up.
Maybe
it might. Maybe.
But this is like this is actually more ounces than probably your average Coke because it's 23 ounces. They're larger and they're actually pretty cheap.
So this is 23 ounces.
This is 23 ounces.
Yeah, Coke's worth a 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola contains 39 grams. So if you basically added more, it'd probably be on the same or about more.
Give it a bit. But anyway, this is supposed to be strawberry flavored. I don't get that at all. But
Ew.
Anyway, it's just kind of red. I guess Terezi would like it. This must be what Terezi tastes when she smells Karkat's blood. This is what it is.
It's like red lollipop candy flavor.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna sip that slowly. I'm gonna slip that slowly. Oh god. I feel like how I feel when I drink like some of those absurd Mountain Dew flavors like Code Red. No, actually not quite that extreme. I feel like I'm taking chip damage when I drink Code Red. This is not quite that extreme. It's not quite,
You're like,
close.
This damages my energy, but not my health bar yet.
It's close. It's not. We're not quite there. The orange Faygo is your fave. The orange pineapple, or is it a different one? I got every flavor the liquor store I went to had. I had to like search for it because not every place has it. So I had to I use. It's just orange. I'm not sure if I have that one. I use the website has like a Faygo finder where you can like enter in your zip code and get find like all the local stores that sell it. For me, it was like only a selection of smoke shops and liquor stores that sold it. No like anything approaching big box or even just normal grocery stores had it. That's a very demented feature, in fact, almost miraculous. So I went over there and I went inside the liquor store and I just literally with my hands just like got every flavor I could see at that time, and so I picked up like 6. And the whole thing, it was all like $12, which is not bad, I guess, for like some sodas nowadays.
Like $2.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so honestly, energy drinks and just general little snacks are pretty expensive.
I paid like $3.75 for the white Monster I had this morning. That's not. I would consider $1.99 to be not bad. You're in New York City. Oh god. Well,
there's no Faygo.
I'm in undescript place in Arizona. There was quite a few places that had it. What am I kidding? I said if I say I'm in Arizona, you know that I'm just somewhere in the Phoenix area. Where else would I even be? Tucson, maybe, I guess, but the fuck's in Tucson? Anyway. Best Arizona is the drink. Arizona tea's nice. Arizona, weirdly, I'll see a lot of Arizona tea over here. I think some people have misplaced pride about it over here sometimes. Anyway, Gamzee.
I don't think I've had one.
Arizona tea?
Yeah, I don't think I've had one. Maybe back in high school I did, but it's not really my cup of tea to have.
It's not bad. I'm addicted to the sweetened green tea that you can get by the gallon. It's cheap and it's good. And
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's cheap and it's good. Okay.
I like my just decaf coffees and hot cocoa.
So why I did all this, why I did that whole thing. So I have to explain to you what juggalos are, Quixby, because I know you don't really know.
Yeah, juggalos.
I mean, I'm sure you saw and sat down and patiently watched the whole ICP music video that Dave linked. So you got to at least get a taste, yes?
Yes, I saw the
Miracles.
Yeah, that basically pissed him off. He got so mad seeing that video.
I see. So everything about Gamzee, ironically, despite the fact that he hates Insane Clown Posse and thinks that juggalos are basically like blasphemy, everything about Gamzee is a juggalo joke, pretty much. You saw the music video, so you got to see the clown makeup is just Gamzee's makeup, exactly. Yes. But also everything else about him. I mean, there's the miracles. There's I don't think they say motherfucker that much in the music video, but like, motherfucker is a juggalo thing also. So there actually is a podcast. If we had more time, I probably would have actually linked you the specific podcast episode that went through the history of juggalos pretty well. Hey, Mixo, we're at the juggalo part of this discussion where I have to explain to Quixby what a juggalo is. But anyway, I might send it to you like later, just for your own sake, just so you can find out more, because I think they're actually really interesting. But yeah, the more you know about them, the funnier this kind of gets, in my opinion. So ICP, Insane Clown Posse, they are a rap group that is like heavily entrenched in juggalo culture. I don't actually remember if they like helped make it or did make it, but they're like the biggest part of it, basically. That shouldn't be controversial. Juggalos are, a group of people who are into spooky clown shit and dark rap. They wear clown makeup, they do hard drugs, they mosh, and they drink Faygo and also say motherfucker a lot. The Faygo thing is actually a juggalo thing, by the way. It's not something that Homestuck made up. It was really popular with them, I think they said, because it was just really cheap, and they, didn't have that much money with shows when they first started off. A tradition started where they would spray it on the crowds at the shows that they did, and the crowds like loved it so much that they just said, like, keep on doing it, please keep on spraying us with Faygo. And they said, okay.
Oh my god. I would be sticky and like nasty.
They love it. They crave it. The people crave it.
No.
The people craved it. No. They craved it. They craved it, Quixby. They needed it. So yeah.
Oh my. Not me like washing my hands, being irritated and that I've got water out and soap on my hands, and I'm like, just get it off, dry it off. They're all doing. Well, they used to anyway.
In the beginning, again, like I said, the hard drug thing wasn't. That's not just a Gamzee haha 420 thing. Like they were all definitely on like, on like coke, or like, on like. I don't know what else is like party. Yeah, they were smoking something, and it was not just weed, trust me. I know Gamzee's making a lot of 420 jokes. Weed was a part of it, but there was definitely like, some but like the thing is, as they've aged up, the hard drug part of the things has like largely gone to the background for the most part, especially as juggalos have aged up to the point where they're like all older millennials now. Most of them are like, or like Gen Xers. Like most of them are parents.
Oh.
They don't do the hard drug thing so much anymore, especially as more and more of these people are like, hey, kind of want to take my kids to the show. Can we like not do that here? Can you like do that like maybe across the street?" And they're like, "Oh, chill. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll do that."
I mean, at
Um,
least they're respectful about it, though.
the thing is that I've gotten every indication that Juggalos, as like put Gamzee aside as a character, Juggalos as a group are incredibly kind and understanding people. Every indication that I've gotten that there's like, yeah, there's not much issues with drama with these guys for the most part. They kind of just want their music and their weed, and they just kind of want to be left alone. They seem like pretty chill people largely, and in fact, I would even say that they go a step further than that, and that ICP, the rap group, has been to this day really outspoken about supporting like women's rights and trans rights, and all indications point towards them being like actually really cool people.
I mean, that's better than being, controversial.
I mean, considering the other rapper we talked about in this was like Nicki Minaj and like what she's been up to nowadays, I will take it. I will take it very gladly.
We always like good news and
Yeah,
people not, being jerks,
yeah,
especially
yeah.
about things.
They smoke with the drug. They stand up for the rights. Exactly, Char. Exactly. Um. So yeah, but Gimsey is an interesting character that as we go forward, we'll get more and more into him and dig more into him. But basically, from the start, he is a guy who like is basically a giant Juggalo reference who is a part of a kind of high blood cult. Um, all about these mirthful messiahs, the Dark Carnival. It's vaguely apocalyptic, vaguely doomsday cultish, centered around these two mirthful messiahs that look suspiciously like the two guys from Insane Clown Posse, who want to do something or other. And he starts to believe himself as he. Well, it kind of starts off with it's this whole chain reaction, yeah. Where it's like first off they run out of Soper slime. Gamzee eats this thing, Soper slime. It's like this slime that trolls are supposed to sleep in, because trolls are predisposed to like violent nightmares
And that's what's in
as a
their like
species.
little
Yeah, yeah,
bedding pools, right?
yeah, yeah.
The
They
green
have
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're recupacoons, something like that. Recuperacoons. Yeah, they have like a bunch of green slime in there. It's Soper slime. You're not supposed to ingest it, but Gamzee loves ingesting it, and it basically keeps him really like mellow, and as a high blood being naturally a bit more predisposed to anger and rages and such. It's kind of dangerous because it basically means that he's not terribly used to dealing with his own emotions, and his brain is mostly fried from doing this all throughout his formative like child years. I love weed. I love weed so goddamn much, but do not be using it as it will ruin your brain if you use it as a kid. Do not recommend it.
Don't use it as a vice and a cope.
Yeah, and also yeah, don't use a device in a cope. And yeah, it has shown where it's like, yeah, if you imbibe before your brain is fully formed, it will stunt your brain. So not recommended. Uncontroversial take, I think. Don't do weed when you're a child. But when you're an adult, a-okay by me.
Yeah,
I'll smoke
I
one
think
with you,
that's fine.
brother. Uh, but basically it means that his brain is stunted. He does not really know how to process his emotions very well, and so when they're out of Soper slime, and he also gets a break with religion after Dave sends him an Insane Clown Posse music video.
That's
Um,
blasphemy
yeah, yeah.
to him.
It
He just wigs out.
not only is it blasphemy, it's kinda like I almost view that as him taking it as like maybe mild proof that his religion was bullshit, which it probably is. A lot of things in Homestuck are joked about as being fake and then actually turn out to be true, like Rufio, for example. Uh, that one actually just doesn't seem to be true, and it seems to
Well,
be
and
more or less proof.
his Lucis was kind of like nowhere, so I'm guessing he had to probably learn and process things with his only viewpoint as like
Yeah.
himself. So
Yeah, he was in it. What can I say? He was in a cult, and then he starts to get, and then he, has to go sober for a bit, gets withdrawals, starts getting delusions of grandeur, and kills a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And it goes, and that's mostly pretty much everything I have to say about Gamzee, aside from the relationship aspect of it. And once we get more into the plot, but in my opinion, he's a character that starts to get like we have his introduction. I think he gets more and more interesting as we go further on. There's like, which is ironic because he also starts to, his appearances really start to drop off, but I think there is more to analyze with him, which is kind of funny considering that, okay, so Gamzee's also one of those trolls that I think is, relatively popular in the fandom. Some people like the spooky clown shtick, but a lot of people are mostly just here for pre-sober Gamzee, more or less. They think he's a funny guy and a funny chill guy, and they want more of that. They want more of that, please. They do not like Spooky Murder Clown.
No, I don't like Spooky Murder Clown either.
So you do actually have quite a few people who more or less in their fanfiction retcon the sober part of him, who like pretend that in their fanfiction just pretend it doesn't exist, pretend that he just remained a good sweet boy always, and that, I don't know, Karkat managed to wean him off the drugs properly, and that there were no issues going forward ever. Which
that's not what happens in canon, is it?
Not what happens in canon.
Okay.
But I actually do think that what happens in canon is decently interesting if you take it, if you manage to, if
Okay.
you like, take it on its own. Even if I agree, I think the version that lives in fanfiction is a bit more likable.
Okay, well, to be fair, dude just committed like a murder spree, so that's where I'm left with Gamzee now.
If I'm going to ship a version of Karkat and Gamzee, it's probably going to be the nice fanfiction version.
It's always nicer in fanfiction sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time to talk about fucking Aridin motherfucking Ampora. God damn it. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
Aridin.
Fuck Aridin. If Aridin doesn't have any haters, it's cause I'm dead. Fuck Aridin. I didn't like him as a kid either. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. I mean, it could be worse. I guess. He could be Cronus. You haven't met him yet, so
No,
could be Cronus.
Yeah.
Char knows.
Man, I feel like
Char knows
just going through
worse.
Homestuck is freaking like a one-up on who's the worst. Who's
Char,
the biggest?
Char knows why Cronus is worse. Cronus is the younger version of Dual Scar, who you hear of a bit, and I'm sure you saw through some of Dual Scar's story. Dual Scar is not a terribly good person.
No.
So there is that. But anyway, so Aridin, he's Aquarius, he's a Vile Blood, he's a Sea Dweller. Some trolls, especially in the higher spectrums, just happen to be Sea Dwellers. His title was Orphaner. Orphaner Dual Scar. That is incredibly fucked up.
Yeah, that's
Cronus.
Those two things should never be in the same title.
I will say that the main difference between Cronus and Aridin, in my opinion, is that with Aridin, I think I a little bit understand why someone's wires might get crossed and why they might like have him why they might like him as like a character. With Cronus, that's a level of cope I do not get. If Cronus is your favorite, that's a level of cope I don't get. Not just liking him being your favorite. That's a level of cope that that's.
I think with Aridin, Karkat, likes hearing himself talk, but at least you can tell he's still listening. Aridin's not like that. He's just.
Sure. Wait, no. Actually, do I care about? No, I said centaur cock 5 times. I don't care about this monetized. Cronus is a rapist. Like, let's not even get there yet.
Oh my gosh.
We're not even there yet. Let's not get there yet. Anyway.
I'm guessing he commits the most war crimes. Then,
and listen, if
he's that bad.
I like my problematic characters. I do like them. I love them. Oh, I love them so much. This is a level that I don't understand. level I don't understand. I feel like actually I came on very heated with there. Very heated there. It's mostly me doing a bit. I don't. I like my problematic characters too, guys. It's fine. We're fine. We can all get along.
They're good for the story.
I'm doing it.
We need bringers of chaos.
That was mostly for a bit. I like my problematic characters too. If anyone took Slade Wilson away from me, I'd cry. If anyone took Deathstroke away from me, I'd cry. I like my problematic characters too. Anyway, I like Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. You know, yeah, I get it, but yeah, still. Anyway. Eridan is I'm about to perform some Eridan hate though, so you know, respectfully. Eridan is incredibly fucking entitled. Not only in that he's very wealthy, but also that he is specifically very entitled when it comes to relationships. Yeah, that's like his key defining trait.
Yeah.
So
he's so whiny about it too.
Incredibly whiny in a way that, like, oh my god, if you were a woman who has tried to date men, like cis men, you've dealt with this kind of guy before. You've dealt with
Would
them
you
before.
classify it as incel behavior?
Incel behavior for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, he's an incel. Yeah, in all fairness, I guess his cast is royalty on Alternia, so I guess it is the way he was like taught. But that doesn't mean I have to like respect him for that. I don't know. He's like 13. Yeah, maybe he would have just gotten better. It's fine. But like but compared to other characters, he does not even show as much of an indication as even wanting to. Like Karkat again and again tries to tell him like, hey bro, don't do this shit. It's embarrassing. Like, come on, man. If you do this and do this, maybe girls will want to talk to you. And Eridan won't hear it. And so, like, literally, instead
he doesn't listen to anyone.
Doesn't listen to him. Instead, starts flirting with Karkat in a way that's so uncomfortable. Karkat's like immediately disgusted by it too. But yeah, like for example, Vriska doesn't give a single shit about him, but he's chasing after her, wanting a black romance, trying to rope Kanaya into ospitizing. It's embarrassing, and he's talking about for Feferi. So he starts off being more reals with Feferi, right? Feferi is mostly more reals with him because like he keeps on talking about how he wants to destroy the world and like commissions Vriska for these doomsday devices. And specifically wants to kill all land dwellers, especially. And Feferi is his moral mostly because she doesn't want that, and so she's trying to keep him calm and stop him from doing that. And as is obvious to everyone that isn't Eridan, the actual second that they that they go into the game and he's no longer really a wide scale threat, she stops talking to him. More or less, she breaks up with him on the spot and says, "Yeah, no, we're never gonna." No, he's like maybe
She's like, I'm taking my out. I'm taking it.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh well, maybe we can start dating." She's like, "No." He's like, I think he even tries to be like, "Maybe we can be friends." No, like. Because he's lying about it too. He's lying through his little teeth about that. He literally mentions being in the friend zone. He hates that shit. She ditches him for a mustard-blooded nerd that he also starts hate flirting with at one point just to get a rise out of the both of them.
Literally.
All he does is flirt with people either to get a rise out of them, get attention, or, like hope that one of them starts pity dating him, and not like that kind of pity, the other kind of pity, for the sake of like it's all just so deeply pathetic.
For all the people who think they can fix him, run.
No one, and pretty much every single one of his friends at this point has been like, no, none of us can fix him. Karkat tries for like half a second and is like, oh no, he's fucked. Not like Karkat, who tries to fix everyone, tries for a little bit and says, never mind. Like, Eridan's official introduction. He has a genocide complex, which is a very anime-ass phrase, and is basically a Harry Potter visual gag. Like a lot of people actually give him some variant of a British accent. He has like the scarf and the like
The cape.
glasses, the cape, the like lightning motif. It's all very Harry Potter, and all very hipster Harry Potter with like all sorts of over designed elements stacked on top of each other. That it's like, I get why people like to cosplay him. There's a lot going on there. It's kind of fun visually. But yeah, he's also like unbelievably pathetic, fishing for compliments and affirmations from Pfeffery and like everyone. That's probably actually the most annoying part about him, in my opinion. The fact that he's always fishing for compliments. And yes, that's a pun.
Not the fishing.
He's always fishing for compliments, right? He'll like put himself down in such a way where it's like it's clear that he's just trying to like bait people into making him feel better about it. And after a while, his friends start to like catch on to this because they start to get annoyed every time he does it.
His ego is literally so inflated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He also talks with a two. Whenever he types a W or a V, he doubles it, which leads to some funny things when people try to voice act him, where they add like a
Like a stutter.
yeah, where they do this. I love his whatever. I gotta show you that one song, "The United States of Whatever." It's great. It's great.
Oh my
So
gosh.
stupid. Okay, so little hint here. So Morals tend to be kind of one-sided dynamics. I'll explain what that is in a second. Nepeta and Equius seem to have their shit mostly figured out, even if a relationship isn't perfect. Most other examples have one messy person and another there to fix their shit. Aerith and Pfeffery seem to be that to the extreme, to the extent where it is considered unhealthy in context, hence the breakup. Because, yeah, by all indications, Aerith is not emotionally available for her, seems to find her big emotions a bother while dumping everything on her all the time.
Yeah.
Everything about his confession to her also is cringe. Not the good kind of cringe.
Well, it's probably also for selfish gain. I don't,
Yeah.
it's not like he genuinely cares.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't seem particularly interested in her as a person, is kind of the thing, so I
Yeah.
have to agree.
Because at least with like the others, like whether it's at least with the other types, like they still have to be interested in in the other person in general.
As much as I ship Aridin with absolutely literally no one, I do agree with some people that kind of ship him with Solux and say like, hey, if Aridin got his shit a little bit together, they could probably make a decent black pair. If he got his shit together and stopped being such a fucking creep about it and stopped like
He's
chasing
not going
after Pfeffery,
to.
like pathetically. It would probably be decent. Better than whatever toxic shit him and Vriska would get up to anyway. Because they'd probably kill each other sooner than they would ever have any kind of stable kismessitude, even if he got his shit together. Maybe especially then. We saw what happened with Dulscar and her ancestor. I have a whole section for the ancestors, by the way. Teehee. Okay, so Aridin, manipulative prick, trying to drag Pfeffery and Solx into an auspicious situation. Around the end here, well, I'll discuss that when I get there, but he, really goes off the deep end at the end there. Not quite the same way that Gamzee does, but, we'll get there. Pfeffery or Pfeffery Pikesies, because this is a comic, some of the pronunciations are contested. I'll switch around all the time. I'll pronounce it differently each time I do it. Don't at me. So, she's a Pisces, a fuchsia blood, and she's also, heiress apparent. She's literally the heiress to the throne. But like it seems they kind of imply that there's a lot of heiresses to the throne at any given time or at different times, like there's been maybe quite a few hatched, but the current empress has been on her seat for a long time. An heiress is expected to like eventually go off and challenge the current empress to battle, and it seems like so far, the current empress, the Condess, has won each time. And no knock on Pfeffery. She probably wouldn't stand a fucking chance. I mean, that's just me. Maybe she'd grow up to be a badass, but, we don't get to see that for now. Also, I'm going to put her in the camp with, like, Nepeta and Aradia as far as, like, I think they're interesting characters. I don't know that I have a lot to say on them outside of their relationships with other people. Yeah, I don't know. She's nice. I like her. Don't have much to say though. She doesn't do too much before she, well, but
Yeah, she gets murdered by
she does some cool
um
stuff. Probably the coolest thing that she does that it gets kind of a little overshadowed by Aradia's uh contribution to it is that she's actually the one that states to have communed with the horror terrors. If you remember, the horror terrors are these like deep deep space Lovecraftian monsters. Um,
yes, and
that
and Jade even saw them when in the bubble, right?
Yeah,
Where when yeah, you can dream state into where they are.
they're creepy, but they're not actually evil. But also, like hearing them talk drives you insane. um, but Pfeffery having been raised by Glibglob, the
Kraken looking
yeah, the
Lucius.
Kraken looking Lucis, she knows how to talk to them. And so she actually does so and manages to basically bargain with them and get them to establish these dream bubbles and to make them little safe pockets within Paradox space, which will be a big help going forward in Act 6. It's one of those like small little blink and you miss it lines, but like certainly a very important contribution there that goes in. Um, I just kind of wish she had more personally going on. Maybe that's just me. We have not gotten into class specs yet. Will I even be able to? Maybe later. Well, we'll get there. God tier and class specs and all that. Char, I know you're the class spec guy. I've seen your YouTube shorts. But there's only so much we can say on it in this book club, I think. Trust me, I've had to do a lot of research about it recently. Anyway, my very next section is about relationships and troll romance / troll friendship. I have this fun quote. In Trollish, the word for friend is the same as the word for enemy. I hope everything is making more sense now.
Okay, the word for enemy is the same. Wait,
The word for
say that
enemy
again?
in Trollish, the word for friend is the same as the word for enemy.
So frenemies.
Does that make more? Does all their interactions make more sense now?
Okay. Yes, it does.
So the thing with troll relationships, right, is that basically they have 3 modes, yeah? Pity, hatred, and apathy. Troll apathy is closer to what we would call human hatred, right? To be apathetic for someone is truly not care about them, to not care about what happens to them, that kind of thing. That's, that is actual, like, what we would call hatred, right? Where troll hatred is more like trolls kind of consider like pity. Let's say pity is love and hatred to be. Honestly, this is kind of a surprisingly healthy view of it. They kind of view it as more of 2 sides of the same coin in a lot of ways, where they understand that hatred is not necessarily the opposite of love. It's just a different kind of passion. And that's how they view a lot of their relationships. So they will, I was kind of struck by how, as you start the comic, especially compared to the human kids, that the trolls generally seem a lot more antagonistic towards each other in a way that's kind of grating as you start, right? Like you kind of get the feeling, oh, all these guys just fucking hate each other. Why are we watching these assholes?
Literally.
Why are we watching these assholes?
They're all
communicate?
jerks.
And then you realize as you go forward that no, they don't hate each other. This is just how they communicate. And you realize that because you see in real time the humans start to realize that. And John even gets endeared by like Carcat's antics after a while, realizing that like, oh, this is just how he talks. He doesn't actually hate me. He's not actually angry. I mean, he's a little angry all the time. But this is just him genuinely expressing affection, expressing that he cares about me and is thinking about me. That's the thing with trolls, where if you get to the point where they're apathetic, that's closer to hatred. The fact that a lot of Vriska's friends do not really want to talk with her, that's actual hatred. That's actually they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But, Karkat arguing with Solux endlessly, that's just friendly ribbing. That's just them communicating.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
just,
it's. I
yeah.
mean, at some point, I did pick up like as you kept reading. Yeah, the begin Act 5, it's like, man, they all hate each other. But then as you read, I'm like, okay, this is just how they
You
talk.
read the end, you're like, oh no,
This
they're
isn't
like
just
all really good friends actually.
like this is just how they talk all the time, especially with their like special characters and how they write their words. Like this is just how they talk. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so they don't hate each other, but that doesn't mean I understand like who's interested in who, but rather just like, okay,
Thing with Vriska and Terezi, right, is you get the indication that, like, so long as they were doing the rivalry hatred thing, everything, rivalry hate friends thing, everything was good, right? So long as Vriska is there to rib Terezi or insult her, things or something like that, everything's good, right? The
yeah,
fact that the fact that Terezi started ignoring her, that's how you know the relationship was breaking down,
okay.
because she does start to ignore her after a while. She does start to feel like
So
Vriska's
the
not
silent
worth
treatment
it.
is the worst punishment.
That's the worst punishment. That's the you actually hate me. That and genuinely wanting to kill someone, because there does seem to be a difference in between, like, yeah, that seems to be a bridge too far in most cases. In the same way that Vriska jumping Tavros off a cliff was a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Um. Oh yeah, I got this note here about okay, so I feel like before I even actually talk about the individual relationships here, I gotta go forward in my notes a bit about troll romance. So the quadrants, Quicksby. How well do you understand the quadrants? I'd say pretty well, not
So
very well.
I would say I understand the diamond one, the pale, and I think I understand the clubs.
Clubs.
And
Um,
then the spade is also just them like the like we saw like with Trezzy and Briscoe, like the hate rivalry, where it's like
so so
their
as
whole relationship is like hating on each other.
as someone as someone who's succeeded in her trials within the AO3 brooding caves, I view myself as something of an expert on troll romance.
This is my first introduction. I have had no context, no fandom
you
at
know
all.
you
So,
You know that funny GIF that plays in that one page where all the relationships shift around constantly and like it's all like,
yes.
haha, it's so complicated you couldn't possibly understand it. Haha, that's the joke, right? No,
Hmm.
no, no. No, no, no. I get it. I get it. I know what Hussey was trying to say there, and the funny thing is that's actually just an accurate representation of the relationship dynamics in this act. Is the funny thing. It actually gives spoilers if you know a little bit about how it all works. Um Okay, so there's four types, right? In fact, I'm even gonna using Discord. I'm going to give you some images here and there. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sake of convenience. Okay, so
Yeah.
I find that the easiest way to think about quadrants is to kind of see the here we go. I'm just gonna send you the most basic like. Oh, nope, wrong one. Never mind. Wrong thing. Never mind. Hopefully no one saw that. Anyway, just under the wrong fucking chat there for a second. That was funny.
It's all right.
I hope my D&D chat got a little blast in the face from that. Okay, so you have this, right? I find that it's best to so this diagram here. I find that it's best to think of it as like, can I actually add this onto stream so you guys can see it here? Give me a second. Take a second, but I can do it.
Adding a PNG.
Yeah, just so people can see what I'm referring to here to make it a little easier. Um, Let me see. Do That's a WebP. Can I? Let me see. Fucking I hate fandom.com and their stupid ass uh like image type. This is getting to be too much trouble. Okay. You know the one. Everyone knows the one. It's the image that first shows up when you Google quadrants trolls. Um okay, so I like to kind of think of it as like a okay, so you see those like those the big old nouns on the side, right? Concupiscent and conciliatory. Yes?
Yes.
Versus red romance to black romance, right? It's good to think of it as like almost like a Venn diagram, I guess, where it's like, okay, so yeah, all the ones on the left have in common that they are that they are reproductive in nature. Yes, they're sexual in nature. Ones on the right, platonic in nature. Yes. Ones on
Yes.
top, positive in nature. Ones on the bottom, negative in nature. Right? So that's usually a good way to remember it just based off of the little diagram here. To go one at a time here, right? So the first one, the one on the top left, red romance, that's, flushed. It's called mate spritz. They have a bunch of different nouns that they apply to it because there's like 5 different words for each one because Hussy's insane. This one's the easiest one to understand. Yeah? Lovey-dovey romance, positive feelings associated with reproduction. This is your human love.
The human's lot.
Yeah. I think every human can understand this one more or less. It's romance with fuzzy feelings and all that. um the pale quadrant, so top right, the diamond, it's your moirails. Yeah. And I try to explain this one as a super best friendship, a very strong best friendship. Like, not just you have your good friend, trolls have friends, but like almost as if they are your soulmate, but in a platonic sense. Yes.
Yeah, I can get that.
This has the implication of like, keeping the other one stable, sometimes for other people's safety, but also, just being the kind of person that they go to talk about their feelings. There's a fanfic that I saw that kind of gave the difference between those two, aside from the sexual aspect, in a way that I thought was like pretty concise, which is that if you are in danger, it is your mate Sprit's job to like throw you over their shoulder and take you back to your house to get you to safety, while it's your Moirail's job to talk you through it afterwards and like talk you through all the hard feelings and such. It's all positive feelings, all platonic, but yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, your on-site therapist slash, you know, like super best friend. Now the gray ashen auspicious, this is your club or your clover. Yes. This one has fewer obvious examples. There's a few examples in the comic, but I think they're less obvious sometimes. Where basically you have two people who are in a situationship that is so bad, either they are like on the verge of killing each other, or they're flipping between quadrants so quickly that it's like just hard for everyone to look at, basically.
Everyone's like, we're not getting involved.
So either to stop them from being cringe or from literally destroying the world, a third person has to come in to basically get them to sort their shit out. This is like, instead of having one person that's your Moirail that like, oh,
this is marriage counseling, isn't it?
This is marriage counseling. This is coming in and being like, you two better shape your shit up, or I swear to God, like it's angry in nature, which is why it also has it's on the darker
the black
side.
romance side.
Like this is don't make me come down there, you punks. It's what it is. And that's why can I see, this is why you have Carcat, who's the everyone's Moirail, everyone's favorite Moirail hoe, who's constantly going in there giving everyone counseling, and Kanaya, who's there with a chainsaw being like, you guys better shut the fuck up or I'm going to start killing people. Behave yourselves. That's the difference. And you have black romance, which I find that I understand black romance pretty decently. I think that this one's sometimes hard to, I so help me troll Gog. I find that black romance sometimes, that people will either really get it or they kind of won't, I'll say. it's easy to understand that, like, like, oh, hate fucking that thing, they hate each other, they hate each other so much, but they want to smooch, right? Like, there's tons of ships that are like that,
Okay.
right? That's
Yeah.
like your average toxic yaoi on like a Wednesday afternoon. But I think there's an aspect to it that people underestimate. Also, other nouns used for it. So black romance, colliginous, kismesis, kismesitude, etc., etc. Is that it's not just wanting to, like, kill someone. Usually that's considered a bridge too far. That's not a good look, generally, wanting to kill your kismesis. That's usually where you're going to get someone in to mediate. But that there is an aspect of deep rivalry and respect that have to come from it.
Oh, so it's like the is it like the trope where, at school and they're rivals to get better grades?
Yeah, I would say anime rivalry is not a bad way
Anime
to is not a bad
rivalry.
way to frame it. As, like, like, I think, like, Goku or Vegeta or whatever, Light and L, like, it is not just about I hate you, but it is about, like, an intense rivalry that almost has a flavor of mutual respect to it. Yes, so it's why you see,
Okay, I get it.
to go forward a bit with Dual Scar and Mindfang, yeah? Like, they're they're hate fucking, but also you can sense in her words a deep, deep respect. Well, yeah, Light needed it. They needed an auspicious to come in and maybe sort their shit out, is the thing. They took it too far. But, and honestly, they were facilitating way too often with all that. The whole thing was a mess. They badly needed an auspicious, but Misa did not know how to step the fuck up. So that it ended in tragedy. Sorry to say. This is what Homestuck. This is what getting back into Homestuck has done to me. I've started thinking about other ships and just, like, in my everyday life, just thinking in terms of troll romance again.
It's okay. NetPat did the same thing. She doodled all her ships.
It's done this to me. Do you mean Nepeta? Whatever.
Nepeta, sorry.
It's fine. Homestuck has ruined my life. I'm not normal anymore because of Andrew Hussey. Andrew Hussington, Shinji Asuka. Don't fucking get me started. Anyway, don't get me. I love Evangelion way too much. Don't call me a. she called her Nat Pat. Fucking Nat Pat.
Sorry, game theory.
This is a theory, a ship theory. Anyway, yeah. So it's a deep rivalry thing. Anime rivalry. But yeah, the important thing is not to kill each other, but which is why, again, with Dual Scar, it's like him killing her kind of mate sprit at the time was a bridge too far. That was a bridge too far. That was outside of the bounds of Kismesis. That is she is now laughing at your funeral levels, which is not necessarily normal.
No.
I'll say, to add one extra layer to this, if the Moirail's there to counsel you and the mate sprit is there to throw you over your shoulder and take you back to your hive to safety, because Mrs. is there to kick the person who kicked you down's ass until they stop. They're there to get revenge, because no one touches this bitch but me.
That's fair. It's like, I get to pick on you, but that doesn't mean you can.
Yeah.
It's like someone else. It's like, no, they're I get to bully them, but not you.
Shinji's VA is a huge car cat
Punch in the
stand. Wait,
face.
which VA of Shinji's? Which VA? Netflix, original, or Japanese? I assume not Japanese, but who knows? Casey? Oh my god, I don't know the names well enough. Oh my god. Netflix? Oh, okay. So, Chilchuck's actor.
I'm pretty sure the page we're on is 4,112.
Yeah, 41112. Yeah, we made all the way through 41112. Checked his Casey. Okay. Chiltuck's actor. They seem cool.
Oh, they're on ad. Oh, it's
Yeah. Then we'll talk more Evangelion. Anyway, Shinji and Asuka. They are. She clearly. So I think Shinji and Asuka's situation honestly has a lot in common with what all went on with Tavros and Vriska, and that I think the problem with it, why the ship is so toxic, is because she's kind of flipping as to what her intentions are. Yeah. is that she see, quick speed, this is what I meant when I say that when people talk about Act 5, they actually mean just the first half of it. They actually mean Act 5 to
So we
Act
went through
1.
like two. Okay.
But I was, when I assigned this, what I intended was the entirety of actual Act 5. Yeah. That's just proof of exactly what I was describing at the beginning here. People, when you say Act 5, they think you just mean the bits where they introduce the trolls. Um, anyway, yeah, so Shinji and Asuka. I think the issue was that Asuka was flipping in between her intentions here. Um, as far as like the same as like Tavros and Vriska, where I think Asuka really like very quickly vacillates between wanting black rom or red rom, depending on, I don't know, whether how her mood is in the day, because it sure seems to flip quite a bit, huh? And I think that, in between the fact that Shinji is really not emotionally ready for anything approaching Kismetude at the time, really just means that like it was pretty much doomed from the start for sure. And it doesn't help that he also had his own kind of messy feelings about her as well that express themselves in really horrible ways. Shinji and Tavros and like Shinji, Tavros, Asuka, and Vriska, they're all the same. They're the same exact characters. I can prove it. Anyway, give me a sec. Oh, my fucking sinuses. One moment. One moment.
I can literally hear the boogers. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, it's just oh no. So they heard my booger comment with
They
no
can still hear it.
context.
It's fine. It's Shinji Ikari with just an I, not an H. Anyway, you should watch Evangelion. I love Evangelion. I love
I've seen
Evangelion.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Wasn't my thing.
I love it. I adore it. I highly recommend it. I mean, obviously watch the Japanese version if you can. Obviously, I will say the Netflix dub gets a lot of hate. I like it. I like it. I like it real good, and that's coming from someone who's like also. I mean, I haven't seen the original dub. I have seen I have seen the dub in some of the movies, in the rebuild movies. I think it's the same original dub actors that do that one, and I think they're okay. But honestly, I think I prefer the Netflix voices at this point. I know the script has its issues, but like the actors do a very good job. The rebuilds are also good. I think they're they're good. If you've gotten all the way to the end end of Evangelion, and you want more, they'll serve you well. But I would definitely give yourself a bit to process it after the end of Ava movie for sure. Give yourself a few months to process. Anyway, that's my explanation on troll romance, which means I can actually talk about the individual layered relationships going on here. And add your 2 cents when you can. We'll take a break soon. Oh my god, we're going for 2 hours.
Yep, I mean, time flies. I mean,
Oh
we
my god.
also, I mean, this is a huge act to cover. I mean,
Yeah.
we're just talking about the characters and relationships, let alone the actual events that have happened.
We're like not halfway. We'll see. I won't keep you. I'll try and cut it at 4 hours. I'll try and really tighten, like be barreling towards the end at the 3:30 mark, if we haven't if we're not done by then.
You know what?
Um
I know your stream schedule's booked, but we'll get as far as we can.
we'll get as far as we can. Oh gosh, my fucking sinus. It's this goddamn Fago. Making me sick. Anyway,
A sugar glaze.
I'm gonna finish it though, like a big boy. Okay. So like I said earlier, yeah, Kanaya and Vriska are Moirils at the beginning. But that kind of breaks up when Kanaya has to step in to auspice between her and Tavros. I'm actually still not sure how to pronounce that. The Fago's draining the toxins from my mind. Actually, some people theorize that trolls get drunk off of sugar rather than alcohol. Thought that was interesting.
Well, they're not human, so maybe they process certain nutrition differently.
Possible.
There's a case for that.
Anyway, in Star Trek, Vulcans get drunk off of chocolate rather than alcohol.
I love
It's fun.
chocolate.
They get drunk off of chocolate.
They would go nuts for human lava cake.
That'd be insane. Oh my god.
They would love that.
Anyway, okay, so time for some Vriska talk. This is mostly gonna be Vriska talk. Let's just like be perfectly fucking real.
I mean, Friska's involved in basically every single major event, essentially, that happens in Act 5.
Tavros and Vriska's relationship takes up so much brain space. It's not even like something I would say I ship, because I think those two people should stay far away from each other at the end of the day. But it takes up so much brain space. Okay, so
I think what makes it worse, though, their relationship worse, is that the thing is Tarvos can't do. Like, he can't fight back against her, technically.
He can't.
So it's literally like someone kicking a downed puppy.
She's a puppy that they already kicked once before. She's so mean to him all the time in a way that is definitely in a way that goes past like troll ribbing right into kind of uncomfortable ableism sometimes. Like, for example, her making Tavros's house structure being all stairs in the game, and then making fun of him for being lazy, for not getting out of his chair and crawling on his hands. That's so incredibly mean, and somehow not the worst thing she's done to him. It's just he's gotta grow somehow.
It's like the freaking mother bird that kicks their babies out of the nest and goes, fly now.
Okay, so here's the thing with Vriska, right? Is that Vriska's thing, right, is that what she does to Tavros is basically exactly what her mom did to her. Yes, is exactly the way her mom abused her. Because her mom, she basically viewed what her mom did to her in order to find peace with it in her own fucked up way as being something to help her. Yes, that this is making her stronger. This is making her going to be someone who, can survive in this harsh Alternian world. Her mom makes her do these horrible things and she hates doing them, but it's to help her because, the society is tough out there. And it's completely ignoring the fact that everyone that she does this to, including herself, including the fact that, that everyone that this happens to, right? I feel like I'm stumbling over my words because I'm getting so fucking impassioned here. If you push someone in order to make them grow stronger, they are going to fold. That's always what happens. It's what happened to her. It's what happened to Tavros. It's what happened to basically everyone she's ever come across and done this to, despite how delusional she is about it. Where,
there is such a thing as too much tough love.
Tough love isn't a thing. Tough love isn't...
I know, but it would be the troll version of what that is.
What the other Lucis do with the trolls is what I would call tough love. Yeah, where it's they teach him how to battle and they do all this and they harass him and they say that. It's kind of what you get with Rose and her mom's relationship, right? Where it's get the sense they rib each other and they do this and that, but they do love each other at the end of the day. And when later in the comic Rose loses her mom, she's really broken up about it, right? That's different than what Dave's bro does to him. That's abuse. That's abuse.
It is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying in a culture that's like that.
It's the extreme version of it, I'll say, where it's you get all the other trolls, they have their relationships with them that are contentious in their own ways, but they do love them. What Vriska's mom did to her is abuse, and you can see that in the differences in the way that they reacted to them. Same way they reacted to their deaths. The same way you could see the difference between the way that Rose reacted to her mom's death versus the way that Dave reacted to his bro's death. Where it's
absolutely,
where it's I think maybe, just maybe, call me crazy, when you push someone so hard to the point of breaking and expect them to improve from that, usually doesn't happen like that. Usually you're just going to get someone who is worse off than they were before. And yes, she is just repeating the lesson that her mom gave her, and that sucks. But that doesn't change the fact that, like,
She's 13 though.
she's 13 though. Still doesn't change the fact that, like, well, she hurts a lot of people. Very,
absolutely.
very
There's consequences
badly.
to your actions.
There's consequences to her actions. The fact that she mostly ends up alone at the end should not be surprising. Even if it is tragic. I am with you guys. I think Vriska is an incredibly interesting character, and I liked reading about her a lot in this comic. Very, very bad person, though, and there's only so much you can say there's only so much of she's only 13, it's not her fault she's raised by wolves that you can. I know you guys are joking. It's fine. It's fine. There's only so much that you can say before you have to just face it. Like, yeah, after a certain point, you are just kind of responsible for your own actions. She's like the Joker. Where, like, I mean, what else was there? I was thinking of something else there for a second. She does try and all. I mean, she's often someone who tries to shift the blame of her actions onto other things. Yes. So, a big thing that she does, she's the invisible hand behind every session. Like, for example, she puts John to sleep and manages to time it just right to where she has a key hand in programming Beck into Jade's kernel sprite, being basically directly responsible for making not only the human session, for not only making the human session unwinnable, but making her own session unwinnable. And she's right in saying that this was destined to happen, but, well, here's the thing. Here's a fun thing I want to posit here. This is me getting ahead in my notes here a bit. Is it that it's destined and so she just wanted to have a hand in it and, would happen anyway, so might as well just do it? Or is it that the universe just knows her shit? Is it the universe just knows her at this point? And that, like, how responsible are you for your own actions in a world where it seems like everything has already happened? In a world where time is not so linear, where it's kind of from a larger perspective. It's like, is it just that, like, she was always destined to do this, there's nothing she could have done? Or she'd actually, like, put in the work and become a better person a bit there. Could something else have been destined? It's a genuine question.
Well, I mean, I guess there's also, I mean, that's kind of like a theme among many of the choices of the characters too, where there's like, okay, how many choices are predestined? Is like fighting against the idea of predestined choices to change the outcome of fate.
It is, and yeah, Mixo, you're exactly right. Doc Scratch brings up the same question as Mr. Omnipotent himself. He seems to know all paths, and there seems to actually be a lot of reason to believe that no, things aren't quite as set in stone as you would assume. That there is room for free choice and for, just trying your best and being the best version of yourself. She seems to have kind of surrendered herself to this idea a long time ago because, well, if it all has a meaning and if it's all destined, then maybe the bad things she does isn't so bad. That's kind of how I read her character at the end of the day. So yeah, I think yes, you can fight the prophecy. I think it's actually perfectly possible. I just think that I think that it's all a cope for her. Honestly, I think that's the best way to read this. That she's just not terribly interested in changing, in being.
I mean, she's using it as an excuse to not even try to change.
It's a shield. It's a shield at the end of the day, and she knows this, and she feels bad about it after a certain point. She even, she'll blame everything before herself, including her culture, including the destiny, including her intent, all this intentions, and just ignores the fact that she just keeps on doing bad things and just keeps on hurting people. Because if everything works out, it will have meant something. This is Terezi, the more morally gray one, as we said, the one who I think is sometimes actually harder emotionally to get behind because, well, she does bad things too, but does not seem to have quite so lofty ideals about it oftentimes, right? The fact that she comes in, because, right, Vriska's whole plan. So, okay, so let's go ahead here, right? Um, let's skip ahead a little bit. So the trolls, they had their whole session, right? It all went great until it didn't. Jack Noir, programmed with Beck, the radioactive dog of Jade's. We're skipping to like the halfway point, more or less. Give some wiggle room here. What can I say? Quixby's in a different time zone. I don't want to keep her up too late. So if this is done quick and dirty, then I don't know. Blame her.
Wow. Wow. You're gonna give me the bad publicity.
I don't want to keep her up past her bedtime.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I used to be able to pull super crazy all-nighters, but I'm now old and I can't.
Anyway, I have like a bunch more notes about ancestors and relationships. Don't worry, we'll be going for another hour at least. But plot wise, I want to talk about this a little bit here because okay, so everything's falling apart. Yeah, the trolls are in their meteor. They've been denied their reward due to Bec Noir coming in and slashing up the door before they could even open it. They 25 is ancient. What the You're so old
He's
now.
old.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Cries in 26.
No, you know what makes me feel old? Look up the date when Super Mario Galaxy came out.
Nope, not gonna do it. Nope, not gonna do it. Wasn't that
Put
like
the fear factor in you?
like 15 years ago? Fuck. Okay. Anyway, everything's falling apart. The trolls are on a meteor, cowering for their lives, basically, hiding as best they can. And a lot of shit has gone down. We see a lot of them as they're pestering the humans that are going back and forth and all that, and a lot of time bullshit happens, and that's why I'm like blazing through so much of the story part, because most of what I discussed here was like, right, like most of the like time shenanigans and all the character stuff is just all the stuff that I discussed just out of order. Yeah. So they're on the meteor, and they have a clock that is ticking down to something. Some people are assuring them that it's fine. Right? Yeah, some people are assuring them that it's fine. Others are saying that it, is a portent of doom. Solux, Mr. Doom himself. And well, none of them are quite sure. They're all nervous is the thing. And a room full of nervous, very strong, highly leveled people, nothing quite good is going to come of that, especially when some of them are very hormonal teenagers. It all starts to fall apart when basically Aridin challenges Solux to another duel. Apparently they'd been dueling a lot back on Solux's planet. But this time, Aridin takes it a step too far. He knocks
totally knocks him out.
He knocks Solux out and blinds him. And then, within the same breath, kills Pfeffery and destroys the matriorb. Now, the matriorb is important because it is the egg for a mother grub. Now, as I said earlier, right, they need a mother grub in order to reproduce. Without it, they're done for. They're dead as a species. They're the last of their kind. There's nothing they could possibly do.
Which, I mean, but didn't he always want to basically commit genocide though? So he succeeded in that?
Kind of succeeded in that, yeah. Of course, the genocide now includes the Sea Dwellers because, well, none of them left at all. None of them left at all anymore. But yeah, he and then of course turns around and kills Kanaya as well while he's at it. And all basically right before he also states his intent to go and join Jack Noir, basically in a if you can't beat him, join him thing, which is barely more idiotic than what Vriska has going on with her plan of going to try and beat him.
Well, and there was no even like forethought in doing it either. He just was like flippantly decided it was hopeless, so might as well, might
as well be on the winning side, as if Jack Noir would do anything but live. Kill him on sight. He definitely wasn't thinking it through when he did all of that, but it seems like he has a habit of not thinking things through very well. So he does all that while Karkat is actually just standing there in the corner, mouth agape. That was a little funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, as a Prince of Hope, qualified to know when there is no hope left and there is none, not a bit. Of course, we later find out that the whole Prince thing is like, okay, maybe this is a good part to, because I've been actually studying up on class specs a lot. Here, a fun fact, guys. Might as well say this now. I've been working on a big document for a Homestuck homebrew campaign. Um, and it's currently around 60 pages long. It's probably going to get longer because I'm still working out some things here and there, just based off of D&D 5e here and there. Just trying to actually work out everything, including leveling systems and species, stats, subspecies. It's been a lot of fun to make, but it's also kind of forced me to get pretty good at the lore of Homestuck, especially the granular session stuff that seems to matter less and less as you go forward on in the comic. And yeah, I definitely had to really get into a lot of the classes and a lot of the aspects. And pretty explicitly, Prince is defined as a class that destroys their aspect. That's the kind of the grammar of it. Yeah. So you have like all the class aspects are like you have the class, which represents usually some kind of verb, and then the aspect, which is the kind of noun after that, right? So one who destroys hope, or you have the seer, right? One who actually maybe easier one to say is like thief, one who steals light for their own benefit, that kind of thing. There's like differences with like passive and active classes versus one who steals for their own benefit versus one who steals for the benefit of others, yada yada yada. Some of them are really vaguely defined because there's like 12 of these shits and Hussey didn't get around to actually clearly stating what all of them are. But like I have at this point a document of my best guesses based off of wiki and my own readings of it, of like about what each class probably does or is, and that's been a lot of fun. But this is kind of the first time where we say that like, oh yeah, just because you are the representative of an aspect doesn't mean it's for good. Because, yeah, specifically princes and bards are ones who either destroy their aspect or destroy using their aspect. Not necessarily the evil guys, TM. There are some good princes, but, like...
It's a rarity. It's the exception, not the rule.
I think the wiki even states that people who... And yeah, HR, I'll definitely share it. I'll definitely share the whole ass PDF once it's all worked out, which... give me, like, another week. I'll have more time now that we're
let all done the hyperfixation brew.
Yeah, I'll have more time now that we're done with Act 5 here, because I don't have any more video essay stuff to work on until November, so I'll have time to really sit down with it and edit it. Gosh, more fucking Fago killing me. Anyway, so yeah, the prince is, so for him to be the Prince of Hope. That would be someone who destroys hope. Usually princes or bards are, as it states in the wiki, people who tend to either be the doom of their session or the people who unexpectedly, in an interesting way, help their session succeed against all odds, right? So you get a bit of that with Gamzee, where he apparently dealt the final blow against the Black King, and you get that here with Aridin as far as, like, destroying the matriarch and fucking them.
It's a pretty terrible decision to make, honestly.
Gamzee dealt the biggest blow of Vriska at the final one. Thank you for the clarification, but yes. But yeah, the wiki's been useful, and the fan speculation also layered in that has also been useful. Though I hate it when sometimes apparently it's stupidly hard to figure out what a sylph is, apparently, because there aren't many examples of sylphs in the comic. So I kind of had to make some shit up, or just go with one potential fan theory and just say, guess that's what I'm sticking with. So,
well, that's literally the definition of what homebrew is.
Yeah,
can't say things up.
Sylphs are witches. I saw that quote. Sylphs are witches, but more magical. I had to throw that shit out. I think I decided to make it the passive version of seer or something. One of the two. One of them. One of them in there. But anyway, okay, but okay. So Aridin goes on his killing spree, leaves Karkat alive mostly by chance because he probably didn't notice him. And then Karkat is kind of just there, like trying to drag Solux away because Solux is still alive. And meanwhile, Gamzee is creeping around doing something. God damn it, Mixo. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Mixo's trolling me right now. Mixo's trolling me. You're trolling me right now.
They'd be so proud.
Be proud. Be very proud. Anyway. Where was I? You derailed my train of thought, you fucker.
Mission accomplished.
Okay. What was I thinking? Seriously, where was I? You need to tell me where I was.
I got distracted by chat.
God damn it. Fuck you guys.
Okay, we were talking about Aridin killing spree, and then Gamzee was up to something. Okay? And then we get a
Gamzee's up to
moment
something.
with
Gamzee's like in the vents. He's in the vents. He's scurrying around on all fours. Yes. There's honking. He's terrifying the shit out of Karkat through like pester logs. He's being a little creature. He's being a little creature guy, except spooky, except scary clown nonsense. And even though I found some of his dialogue to be kind of silly, especially when he keeps on saying motherfucker a lot, it is actually kind of scary. Also, at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. Some of it managed to be genuinely tense when you play as Nepeta there for a bit, where she's in the vents and. Okay, so back up. So
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah. So we get our little not Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh my God, no, not Five Nights at Freddy's.
We're in the vents.
Literally, have you played any other horror game other than Five Nights at Freddy's? I swear to God.
No, I tried to watch someone play Outlast, and that was scary enough for me. I don't play horror games.
Oh my God, play a different horror game than Five Nights at Freddy's, please, for the love of God. There's so many things I could compare that to, and Five Nights at Freddy's is not even in the top 10.
I was just making a joke about the vents. Leave me alone.
Anyway, Mark Hadley made the Slender game. That's cool. That makes sense. I was slipping Dark Carnival into some like video essays when I can. That's fun. So this first try at horror, that makes sense. That's actually pretty neat. But yeah, I think of more like some RPG Maker horror, honestly. You get like your the Clock Tower, Yume Nikki, not quite horror, but I was playing Off the other day, and that was pretty damn good. Definitely just that whole RPG Maker kind of scrungy, slow moving horror vibe where, pixelated monster is going to come out and you say, ah, or just, general atmospheric vibes as well that you see really well with a lot of Japanese horror.
I think the scariest horror games is being chased. Those chase sequences, like in Poppy's Playtime, is actually really scary.
You're bringing shame to me again. You're genuinely bringing shame to me again. You're genuinely. Okay, fine. Poppy's Playtime. Are you fucking kidding me?
You know what? I'm chronically on YouTube too.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. Play Silent Hill. Play Silent Hill, idiot.
Okay, well, yeah, Silent Hill's good too.
I'm getting so mean. I'm getting so mean. I'm getting so mean. Oh my God. Anyway,
look, I will admit, I'm part of the cringe fandom of horror, games. I don't play any horror games. I'm too.
Actually, I think the funny thing is between the two of us, I definitely actually like my horror. Is the funny thing, like a lot. I like horror movies too. Like the weirdo picks as well. Like I've oh my God, what was it called? Suspiria was probably is like actually probably one of my favorite horror movies currently. Yeah. So, I really need to watch the original. I really need to watch the original Italian one. But yeah, it's good. It's good. I like my horror. I like my horror.
I can't do it. I'm too. I can't watch it.
I put on my big boy pants and watch horror in the dark.
I can't do
at
it.
night.
I don't have any big boy pants.
I put on my big boy pants and I turn on Excision and I go to bed after taking a melatonin. I go honk shoo me 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 me, an utter peace.
You watch the video in the dark.
An utter peace. Really handle seek the high blood. Dang. But yeah, I love me some horror, so I can see some of the influences going on in here a bit. Honestly, I should sit you down for us playing Soma. Soma isn't like a spooky horror game, so I mean a bit, like, but it's not really. It's like mild in my opinion. Has some I think chase sequences in horror are just kind of fucking weak in my opinion. It's not what you get out of it. The good thing about Soma is the psychological horror. It's what gets you thinking later.
I mean, that's just me, like, the reason why the chase sequence is scary to me is because when you're actually playing and you're like, oh my gosh, something's coming after.
Well, yeah, I guess, but like, I don't know, because I'm so desensitized at this point, where it's like, yeah, it's good for like a temporary like
thrill
spook, yeah, like I'll get when like I get jumped by a monster in Soma, I'll let out a little yelp, but it's not the type of horror it's not like the type of horror that is why I like horror. Yeah, it's like I like the stuff that makes you think. I like the stuff that kind of sits with you for a bit. I don't think about it. I don't even think about the next hour. I'm over it immediately. Anyway, let's move on. Maybe I'll get Una some real horror. Maybe I won't. You seem sensitive.
I am. I'm not gonna lie. But I can, for some reason, with anime, not the same. I can watch Hellsing and I'll be fine.
That's not horror. That's not
what
horror.
I mean is like grotesque things on.
I mean, yeah, but that's not
anime.
Horror.
But
it's
I'm
like
not
action.
into horror.
It's
okay,
fun.
I'm gonna be the worst.
I
okay?
love Hellsing, but like that's like fun. It's like schlock. It's like schlocky fun. It's like a B movie. It's more about the action and the cool fights and all that.
You did not just compare Hellsing to a B movie.
It is a B movie. That's exactly what it is. That's the exact intention.
No, I was thinking of like the actual B movie.
No, I mean, oh my god, no. I mean like B movies, like horror B movies from the 80s and this whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my. Never mind. Fuck. The video essayist talking to non-video essayists. Let's move on. Let's move on. Anyway, so
what? Blame that it's midnight. Okay. I got midnight brain.
Anyway, oh my god, I'm talking about fucking bees. Okay, so where even were we? So yeah, a horror movie sequence happens, a horror game sequence happens. We start off with the scene where it was talking about earlier, where Equius and Nepeta are having like a really nice like conversation. Really, like, you understand their friendship there for a second, which is great because in 5 seconds they're gonna die. And Equius sends Nepeta away to hide while he's gonna go off and see what's going on. Because he's big, strong boy. He comes across Gamzee, and for a while there, it seems like he doesn't understand that Gamzee is a threat, which makes sense. Gamzee was his friend, for a while.
Yeah,
I get why his first instinct wasn't to swing. Which is again why we know that if Gamzee had killed Nepeta first, he would have locked in. As we all know.
He would have been a purple splatter on the wall.
Yeah. He does mistake Gamzee for Terezi at first. But yeah, so Gamzee like shoots him in the knee and then strangles him. And, Equius is kind of not sure what to make of it, and also kind of getting off. He seems a little too happy about it. He's a little too happy about it for a few reasons. One, whatever, Equius's weird kinks, but also it seems like he almost views this as Gamzee, like, taking his proper place as like a high blood. He views this as he the way he's talking about it almost seems as if he thinks Gamzee is like embracing his destiny as a high blood. That seems to be a part of why he's so it was his ideal fantasy, but it was also what because he viewed Gamzee as something of a failure, right? He viewed him as a high blood that did not act like one, did not hold his station, did not treat others in the way he thought he should. And then
Hmm.
Gamzee over here is doing what a purple-blooded high, because we see with the ancestors, yeah, he's doing exactly what a purple high blood should normally be doing, killing off the
Being
lowers
absolutely
for
ruthless.
killing off the lower classes for dubious reasons, for just kind of giggles, because he thinks it's funny, literally.
To be fair, the blue isn't that low, is it?
No, but it's still lower than him.
Yeah.
But it is like that is the thing with, we see the grand high blood later. I can't wait to get to the ancestors. Oh, I'm gonna be a fiend about the ancestors. But yeah, he sees it. He's like, yeah, Gamzee's doing what he should, and so he kind of just allows Gamzee to kill him. He doesn't fight back against him at all, despite the fact that if anyone stood a chance against Gamzee, it probably was him. At least in just a one-on-one straight up fight. And Nepeta, of course, she couldn't stay put very long in her room locked up there. She goes in the
No,
vents,
pounced
scurries
on him and
around.
then just died.
Yeah, she sees him just as he's killing Equius, just as he's finishing it up, and she lunges for him. And a thing that I didn't notice in my first read through that I saw here, the second she goes down, Gamzee catches her arm she can even hit him, and breaks her arm in a way that that was that was rough. That was the spine crawling bit for me. And then yeah, like forces her to scratch him across the face before he kills her, and it's a lot. It's shocking. It's more shocking almost than what Aridin had going on with Solux and Pfeffery. Um, and he keeps on skulking around, and he's also like taking the bodies, taking them up places, using the blood for paint, like a grand high blood, doing weird things with the heads. And yeah, it seems to all just be because he kind of finds it funny, more or less. That seems to be mostly it. Again,
And he just
his
wigs out and it's
you
embraces, I
know
guess.
embraces it. And again, to me, I'm almost there wondering, like,
Which
how
once
much
again is dooming them as a species even further.
again, how much is he? I almost have to wonder, how much is he wigging out? We kind of say, oh, he just went crazy, but there's almost an aspect of like, I think he's quite sane actually when he's doing this. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he's having sane in that he's having incredibly strong religious delusions about himself. But I it's not quite the same as him just snapping and just doing a bunch of random shit. I think in his head what he's doing makes actually quite a lot of sense. And that's the scary part. That's the scary part in my opinion.
I mean, based off their culture, yes.
And okay, we have to mention the actually like third major thing that happens. This one actually feels like less of a big deal, though it is the horrible bow to this horrible relationship. So Tavros and Vriska, right? They've had their ups and downs, mostly downs. Um, so I gotta mention something here, because there was a scene earlier on in the comic that I was kind of mentally struggling with a little bit here, and I was trying to see if you were getting the same read off of this, because there's a scene right where Vriska tricks him through his first gate in order to get him into her hive and get him out of his little rocket chair, and she seems to come on to him during that time, right? She's tried to like prod him into being better. She tried to prod him into a black ROM, and now she's kind of going back in the red ROM direction. She kisses him, mind controls him a little bit, and then kind of decides it's not worth it and drops him. And from that point on, she basically decides that he's more or less not worth it, really. Yeah. And I don't know about you.
A lost cause.
I was kind of made uncomfortable by that scene. Yeah, I felt like that kind of read like a little differently, a little SAE.
I mean, it's like after you try to use someone or even successfully use someone and then you're just like, all right, I got what I wanted. Or, and yeah.
Not that she does much, but the whole mind control and the kiss and all that felt kind of icky to me. And then doubly icky because after that, especially once he starts getting the robo legs, Tavros goes through an interesting, if unfortunate, arc where he seems to start, where like, after being shamed and bullied and belittled so much for his disability, he gets robo legs where he can finally stand and walk around again. And he really starts to equate just being able to walk with just having self-esteem and having self-worth in a way that and really starts acting like, it really starts mirroring Vriska's behavior in some ways. Starts talking to Jade about how like he has this plan to try and talk to Beck and convince him to go to try fight Jack Noir, and he wants to do that despite the fact that she does not think that's a terribly good idea, at least not at first. And kind of wants to go through with that because he feels that like, well, doing things without permission like that's like what a cool self-confident guy does, right? Kind of equating Vriska's whole behavior of just walking over the autonomy of everyone around her with having self-confidence. And it's quite unfortunate, honestly, because he basically continues through this more or less to the very end, all the way until
he basically challenges Vriska.
It challenges Vriska to a fight. She feels like it's too little too late when he's just kind of there to prove something to himself, maybe kind of stop her from doing the thing she shouldn't be doing and going off to fight Jack. But you also feel like a bit it's him trying to prove himself a little bit here. And he fails. She like kills him without really even trying. It's so effortless that you get the feeling she doesn't like process it fully at first, that she kind of feels bad. She feels bad about it almost immediately.
Yeah, because it's like the whole like breaking his legs again.
Yeah, and pretty much as soon as she's like away from the situation, she's sitting there trying to like venting her heart out to John about everything, and you can really just feel this like her own sins like way down on her back, and she has this moment of clarity, of pure introspection that I think is very beautiful, where she just almost seems on the verge of tears, just talking about every horrible thing she's done and how she feels bad about it, but she feels like she shouldn't feel bad about it because of her status, and how that's almost worse. And there's this part that I found actually really heartbreaking, where so earlier she had tricked John into going God tier. Yeah, she got him to sleep on his quest bed and gotten him killed by Jack Noir. And she did this on purpose because she, wanted him to get stronger. And almost reflexively, she was asking John, like, oh, do you hate me now? Do you, like, I did this thing without telling you, and I, like, kind of violated your autonomy about it. You hate me now. Like, she was fully, like, ready to be like, oh, he's going to hate me now, isn't he? He's going to hate me when this is over. I was trying to do this for his own good, but, like, everyone always hates me when I do these things. And she's, like, shocked to find that he's, like, no, it was fine. Like, I know, I get it. I get why you didn't want to tell me this, and, this is for the best in the end, and, I'm fine now, so...
I mean, to be fair, relieved. No one would actually want to go through with that if they were told, like, yeah, you need to do this to, ascend. And I'm like,
Dave doesn't.
Yeah, that's freaking crazy.
Dave doesn't, and that's why his interaction with Terezi goes very differently. Though even he is able to, like, not get over it. I think after that, he, maybe a bit more. We'll see. We'll see how the relationship develops after that.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of hard to literally stab yourself.
But John is surprisingly cool with it, and you kind of get why. He's someone who as a rule of thumb, tries not to see tries to see the best in the intentions of those around him. So he just kind of gave her the benefit of the doubt that the only reason she didn't tell him was because he thought she might freak out, or she thought he might freak out, and just genuinely viewed this as what was best for him. And she's like shocked by it. And in a way that you just kind of feel, right? Because, like, yeah, she's been through this again and again, and she doesn't quite understand the difference there between what she did here and what she did with Tavros. Yeah, she doesn't quite understand it.
John is also very sunshine coded, though.
He is very sunshine. It's very kind of different personalities here versus with Tavros. But, like, yeah, she kind of doesn't understand the distinction here. Yeah, she can't appreciate it quite. But you still just feel so bad for her. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because she just feels like she's reached a point where she feels like the only thing she can do or everything she touches either is just gonna backfire, break, or she just can only ever do wrong. So when something actually goes right, she doesn't understand
She's
like
shocked by it.
why this went right, you know, expecting to be, you know, the usual consequences that usually follow along with her, you know, choices and you know, her choices that she makes.
And okay, I'll do this little spoiler and I'll say that going forward, it becomes pretty clear that John didn't. John had some feelings for her, but whatever was there wasn't that well developed or was very complicated by all the other stuff that he was still processing pretty much every time she spoke to him. And it then becomes even more heartbreaking that so that like you find that she imprinted on him hard, basically just from that one little interaction difference. And yeah, it's genuinely hard to read in the best way sometimes. Let's just say how this ends here. So you have the three murderers walking about, and then Kanaya comes in revived as a vampire with the steel chair to fucking knock some sense into them. She cuts Aridin in half as a little fuck you, good riddance. And they have their little standoff where we start to get a bit about the ancestors. I'll detail the ancestor story. I'll detail the ancestor story actually in order when I get around to it. So I'll actually probably start off with the Sufferer and then do Marquise.
Okay.
Do the Marquise. Again, trying to make sense of this timeline.
I mean, it's all over the place. I'm reading it and I'm going, what the heck's going on? What timeline are we in? Is this, we jump times like, oh, this is at the 10-hour mark. This is at the 4-hour mark. This is at the 2-hour mark. I'm like, what?
Anyway, they're having their standoff. Yeah. Carcat, jumping ahead again. Carcat's able to drag off Gamzee by simply just doing a Moirail and just kind of shush papping him until he calms the fuck down.
I was like, that's what calmed him.
Yeah.
Literally booped the snoot.
The way he was talking, you'd think that Carcat had killed him, but it's like, no, he just said shh real hard.
And rubbed his face and was like, you're fine. You're fine.
Gamzee calmed down, and then they were Moirails. Slightly implied to have been Moirails beforehand, a little bit. Carcat says a lot of stuff about Gamzee being his responsibility. For example, and we'll see how that goes, if that goes well at all. But anyway, so Teresa and Vrysky, Trezzy and Vriska. Fuck, I too am starting to lose my brain here. I've been going since morning, honestly, when you include all the other work that I've been doing today.
Anyway. There's a lot that happened in this chapter in comparison to the 1 through 4 arc.
Non-stop. I think legitimately comparatively, we'll have an easier time when it comes to just doing.
We haven't even talked about the Felt and
Vriska and
Doc Scratch.
Yeah. We're not going to get to absolutely everything. Anyway, Vriska, Terezi. They have their standoff. Yeah. Vriska's going to go over to Jack to try and fight him. Terezi thinks that's a bad idea. Terezi,
it is a bad idea.
Flips a coin. Says heads, you stay. Tails, you go. I hope you were like me and was like, yeah, obviously by go she means I'm going to kill you. It's like obvious. Yeah, that's obvious. Very obvious. Doc Scratch points out it's very obvious. Well, Vriska kind of calls her out on her bluff. Says, okay, fine. Uses the luck to go to Scratch. Says, okay, I'll go. Turns her back to Terezi, and I'm gonna just rip the Band-Aid off and say we see at first a version of events that Doc Scratch could have happened. A version that Terezi, as a seer of mind, is able to foresee. Because as a seer of mind, you kind of see the paths, the potential directions, potential futures that can happen. Which is that Vriska goes over to fight Jack. Jack ignores her, flies right past her to the meteor because she left a giant fairy trail in her wake, kills everyone on the meteor, and then comes back and says, "Cool, now we fight." So Vriska gets her fight. She maybe even wins or gets like really close, possibly.
Well, because she rolls her dice, as they pointed out, it was like a near impossible chance.
Yes. She maybe even wins or maybe gets very close. Doc says that he would not bet against her, but we did not see the end of that because Terezi correctly says, well, even if she wins, we all lose. Everyone dies. Everyone dies. We're not, that's not a future that anyone can stick with. And so despite the fact that, she didn't want to stab her friend in the back, she says, fuck it, goes through with it. She kills Vriska. And so Vriska had reached God tier. Yeah, we didn't really talk about God tier much, right? Aside from, Vriska tricks John and going, you go on a quest bed, you die in the quest bed, you become God tier. You gain all your powers of your title, whatever it may be, your class spec title. And you also gain immortality, right? But it's conditional immortality, where you can you remain immortal unless you have a death that is either heroic or just. Right? So okay. John getting blindsided by Jack doesn't count. Doesn't count. He comes back just fine. But Terezi killing Vriska to stop her and as justice in order, for her killing Tavros and killing everyone and causing all this trouble, that was just. So it sticks. Vriska falls and she's done. She's done for. She's dead. No revival's coming back. I'm sure she'll never be a character in this comic again, I promise.
Wow.
No, you know that's not how it works. You know that's not how it works.
She's gonna come back somehow.
She's gonna come back somehow. But for now, though, this version of her, I think
people liked her too much.
This version,
she's gonna come back.
She is about as dead as Tavros or Feferi or any of the others in that. For her to come back, it would be significantly harder than smooching her body on the lips. There's currently no clear way for her to come back, at least not as being alive. And remember, we do already have some dead characters floating around, but they've been very careful in pointing out that if you are dead and are still floating around either dream bubbles or as a sprite or whatever, that
they're still on the moons. They still have a dream self potentially.
Who? Which one?
Well,
no, none of them do. They're all gone.
No, I know the trolls don't, but I was referring to in general, if someone were to die, they still have their dream self.
I mean, there are none left.
Well, not for. I thought one of them still had it.
No,
doesn't Carcass still have his?
No, they're all gone. They're all gone. All the humans and the trolls. They've either become God tier or they died at Jack's hand.
All right.
Or they used them up.
I guess I think I misread that then.
They're all gone. There's no extra lives hanging around right now. They're all so. But yeah, basically the idea though is that as what's implied at Dave's Sprite is that if you're dead, actually dead, that you can still be around and be talking, but you're basically taken out of the story is the idea. You're literally in the comic still, but
God tier is not the dream version. It's literally still their IRL bodies. Okay.
No, not really. I mean,
no, it's still it's its own little. Okay, that's probably where I'm getting confused. Then
when you die, when you kill yourself on your quest bed, you just awaken in your dream self's body. You should remember how Jade, when she became God tier, she was in the dream self that was prototyped in the kernel.
Yes.
Right, her real body's still on her planet. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway. So
yeah, Jack is a menace.
Yeah. But basically what I was trying to get at was that you're still alive and talking, but you are no longer able to directly affect the story. Right? You're still in the comic, still in the plot, but your actions have no bearing on the alpha timeline anymore.
Okay.
You're basically just there spinning your wheels, doing character development to the consequence of nothing and no one. And I think I put in the notes here where it's I imagine that some characters, you get Solix here, which is kind of half dead, not quite dead, he has the one blind eye and the one wide eye because he's half dead. Get it? Anyway, like Solux, he kind of takes peace with this. Yeah, he gets to go off with his girlfriend. He didn't really like being so involved with the Doom stuff. It was all my man's had like zero mental health left by the time he was all done. He just kind of wanted to be in peace, hang around with his girlfriend, and not be inundated with the horrors constantly. Yeah, but with a character like Vriska, you have to imagine that'd be pretty tough. Yeah, so she'd staked her whole like
Her whole
her
game was on,
her self-esteem relies on being able to affect the world and to have
and she
her
can't do it.
actions mean something. I imagine she's not going to take this well.
That's a prison sentence.
Yes. But that's for Act 6. That's for Act 6. So what other relationship stuff do I have here? Or can we just go into, because I feel like we covered like most of the plot as well while we were at it, which is good because we're at the 3 hour mark now.
Yeah.
Um, what else do we
Ancestor
have here?
die?
Oh, I have like a little bit here, which is interesting. This is a bit of lore here, which is that if it's not perfectly obvious yet, same-sex relationships with the trolls are pretty common. Like they will later specify that there aren't words for gay and straight or pansexual, there aren't words for gay or straight, as pansexuality is pretty much the norm with them. And while there's no like concrete confirmations, the implication seems to be that trolls are hermaphroditic. Right? Like the reason, like they're kind of modeled after bees, yeah. Thing with bees, right, is that like you have the queen bee and then the rest of the drones are all male essentially. So the idea is that all the trolls are all essentially like physically hermaphroditic.
That doesn't
They have
surprise
different
me.
they have different gender expressions. They're like Transformers. They all have their gender expressions, but you know, though they are functionally genderless in most ways. There's also that good old AO3 providing their headcanons as to exactly what kind of junk they're packing, but I'll leave that for you to discover on your own.
Should I be scared?
Only if you want to be. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, actually I have this note here, which is there's compelling circumstantial evidence that Troll Smut is at least partially responsible for some aspects of the Omegaverse. So if you're familiar and go back and read some spicy Homestuck fics, you might find some of it familiar. Also the Transformers fandom, if I'm being perfectly honest as well, as far as how they do their smut. Okay. So, what else do I have here? The Tavros Vriska relationship drama, Karkat getting a crush on John. We're not at Cascade yet. We'll get to Cascade. Cascade kicks ass. There's so much happens in Cascade. Cascade is so good. Cascade will be like the last thing I talk about, I think. Basically. Cascade is truly peak. Yeah, we get the line where John says, "I'm not gay, Karkat," in which Karkat seems baffled. So I think one way that I think Hussey pointed it, like tried to describe this was that basically I'm not a homosexual.
I'm still learning all the terms for Homestuck.
Yeah, so basically the way that I think Hussey said it was that to say that you are either gay or straight in troll society is like the equivalent of I gotta use the Hussey quote because I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, which is like, "Oh, I date you, but actually I'm a huge chubby chaser," that kind of thing, where it's like that's like a personal preference that is like so specific that it's considered odd to just say in polite conversation, where it's like that's a reasonable preference to have, but
it's not polite it's not polite
odd.
society conversation.
It's odd to just come out
weird.
and say. You know, like it's the kind of thing that you'd assume your friends would put together as they understood your dating preferences, not the type of thing you just come out and just say. And in a world where like homophobia doesn't exist, that's like kind of nice in its own way. Yeah, you know, that like, you know, you have Kanaya who like probably is actually just a lesbian because she pretty much exclusively dates women. But that's not necessarily a word, so she's just kind of accepted. It's just like that's just Kanaya. Yeah, I like that. It's comforting. I understand why. A lot of queers, including me, actually, you know, kind of found that comforting. Oh yeah. I don't know if you listened to the Toby Fox "I'm Having a Baby and the Baby Is You" album. If not, you're gonna. It was in the collection.
I did see it, yeah.
You'd listen to it?
Not the whole thing,
Not the whole
but
thing. I actually listened to the whole thing like in one sitting today for the first time. I've never been able to just sit through all of it before. I managed it today. I was so not today, like when it came when the time came before. Um what else do
baby
we got?
rage.
What else do we got? Oh yeah. I don't know. I think this is the part where the humans came back, so I got a lot of human troll relationships going on here. Like you have John and Vriska. Carcat's getting a blatant crush on Jade here. Um what else do we got? Kanaya on Rose's bullshit in the most delightful way, and that they just seem to be on each other's wavelength so in such a funny way. Um
They sink.
yeah, between Vriska and
They sink
Carcat,
really good.
John sure is attracting a lot of trolls. And apparently between Tavros and John, Vriska sure likes her soft boys. Um Terezi's flirting with Dave, while Terezi is also unsure of how things are going with Carcat since he won't make any further moves after their first date. Nor can he really seem to know how to commit because he's like 13 and he's scaled. Vriska gets a crush on Nicolas Cage.
Can
Carcat,
you send the video?
Carcat and Dave meet each other and hate each other immediately in a way that had the entire fandom be like, black rum, do it! Oh my god, the levels at which people wanted these guys to hate date. Everyone needed it. We needed it back in the day. We craved it. Dave Cat is Dave. I love Dave Cat. I love Dave Cat. Dave Cat. I still love Dave Cat. I'm other ships come and go. Dave Cat is forever. Nick Cage and Con Air looks very similar to Equus.
No!
He does actually, huh?
Yeah, no, they're right.
You're right.
I see it.
You're right. You're actually. I think that now that you say that, I feel like that was intentional, and I hate it.
Not a fan.
Mm-hmm. What else do we got? Dave mostly flirting with Terezi for the sole purpose of rage baiting Carcat, which is such a black rom thing to do, in my opinion. And Terezi thinks it's funny too, is the thing she's into it. And I don't know, Pfeffery and Jane making good friends actually. Just little friends. They're just friends. It's good. Oh my god, what other ships? There's so many ships. There's so many ships. My head is spinning with all the ships. So many. Gamzee having a little thing with Tavros. Gamzee and Carcat becoming Moirails. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's so much. It's so much.
Well, you wonder why, the fan fiction went crazy because you could literally just throw a dart and it would probably be a ship.
Oh yeah, you could. Oh, for sure you could. Anyway, we're brushing over so many things, but I guess that's why you need to read the comics. What can I say? Okay. I think
We'd be here for like 6+ hours probably. We talked everything.
we would. If I were a smarter person, I would have split it up into two, but here we are. Getting seasick from all these damn ships. Anyway,
That's an entire fleet.
Ancestor time, and the number of ships will continue. It will increase.
That's a fleet.
It will increase. Oh gosh. Remembering Jade's line of like, if I hate myself so much, why don't I just marry myself? Carcat and past Carcat and future Carcat. Fuck. Anyway, the ancestors. I'm so normal about the ancestors. I'm incredibly, Char, your whole special interest in the class specs. Mine, I had to learn about the class specs against my will. The ancestors, that's been my bread and butter for years now. Oh, it has. The amount I could. Oh, yes, especially the Sufferer. Oh, the whole thing with the Sufferer I think is so cool, and I fuck with the ancestors heavy, and I am going to.
I like the designs; they're so cool looking.
I'm going to be incredibly annoying about them when we get to the Dancestors. I'm going to be so annoying. I'm gonna be so annoying about it because I have so much to talk about with them, like on so many levels. Because I think I don't know, but not to get ahead of myself, but I think it's incredibly interesting. You have these like these mythological figures basically, and you just get to meet them as teenagers, and you realize they were just like regular teenagers, and I think that's almost like more sad. Yeah, that like yeah they went through all these horrible things, they did all these great things, but at the start of it there were just like kids at one point. I can't help but read about the stories and actually remember that like yeah, just because the names weren't recorded didn't mean they didn't have them. Like hearing the sufferer's tale and realizing that he was once a kid named Concrete Vantas hurts. That hurts me personally. That hurts me personally, especially as someone who's a concrete defender. I'm a concrete defender. That's my annoying ass bread and butter. I can probably talk about as much as him. Fuck. I'm an insufferable rap. I'm an insufferable yapper.
You know what?
You can hear it.
I appreciate you for being a yapper. I can't. It's not my flow, but I am so here for it.
Thank you. Okay.
I appreciate the yappers. They are so needed.
The Sufferer's Tale. I'm talking at like 2x speed, honestly, so we can get through this faster at this point. I have been for a while. The Sufferer's Tale. So we're going to start with that. So, as Doc Scratch said, originally our trolls were not the ones who played the session, right? Their ancestors were. So how it goes, right? The humans, they were, you know, John, Dave, Rose J, they were playing, you know, they played their session. They created the scratch in order to redo it. Yeah. The trolls, not quite. Their ancestors played the session originally, and then their ancestors activated the scratch when they fucked up. It seems like there were forces kind of going against them, kind of like with what's going on with our guys. They didn't just fail because they were, you know, they needed to get good. They failed because of some deep, deep space shenanigans, as is usually the case in this comic. And these ancestors grew up on a peaceful version of Alternia. One without the bigotry and without the hatred and the, you know, dog eat dog kind of mentality. It was peaceful. Like Earth level peaceful. You know, not perfect, but
it wasn't what they had today. The structure.
But they fucked up their session. So they performed a scratch to, you know, reset the world, but as we find out, it's not really a reset, it's like a reboot. It shuffles everything around and you lose all your memories, you know? You don't just start the game over, you start your life over. You start the universe over, basically. You know, this puts our trolls in the pilot seat for attempt number 2. All of them forgot about the session except for the Signless, Karkat's ancestor. And he, like Karkat, was a mutant once slated for execution if he was ever discovered. But of course, instead of just staying hidden, he started preaching about this dream that he had, because he, you know, was having memories of this, and it was like foggy. He wasn't sure exactly where it was all coming from. Of his session where a bunch of trolls were like working together, and it was beautiful. It was so unlike the life he had lived, and so he starts preaching about it, about, you know, working together, about the Hemo Spectre, about peace, forgiveness, love, being, you know, basically troll Gigas. You know,
Troll
Gigas, basically. And also it's implied that he, like Karkat, was, you know, a bit of a yapper, which I think is fun. He just found more important things to yap about. The Silas is Sora. Fox remembering Sora. Fuck. Anyway. So he gains a following and eventually the wrong kind of attention, too. You know, he's executed. He was captured, he's executed, and given the final sermon and the vast expletive. I'm going out of order here a bit, but whatever. This is how my notes are written. So he gives a final sermon called the vast expletive, in which is implied that he, you know, just like Karkat, he really likes saying fuck. That's funny. Containing all of his truth and his rage. No, of course, after that, his cult lived on with it you know, we see that Red Glare, Terezi's ancestor, was a follower. And, you know, eventually Karkat would actually follow in his footsteps. You know, of this, you know, this final sermon, he details, like, there's going to be this diverse group of trolls going on this mission beyond the stars to save the species, yada, 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 and kind of came true. just
Although they didn't save their species yet.
they haven't saved the species yet, but more or less it came true. There was a mutant blood leading a group of trolls on this mission past the stars, and they did actually manage to work together. It is stated over and over again that Karkat was actually, despite being kind of a petulant child about it at first, he was actually a pretty good leader. That he managed to successfully get them to work together, even if it was in a way of like, we just want to shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
Like, it still worked, and they still do say like, yeah, we worked together. He did it. He managed it, even if it was
No.
annoying.
I mean, there is a bit of like, irony though, because he's supposed to be considered, the lowest tier, and yet here he is leading it.
Mm-hmm. So, there's the fact that the Signless wasn't raised by Lucis. We find out he was raised by another troll, the Dolorosa, Kanaya's ancestor. Which again, Virgin Mary analog. Anyone?
Troll
Um,
Gigas.
Either way, you should know that a troll raising the troll is very unusual by now. They basically don't ever do it. So her doing it was unique.
An act of mercy.
An act of mercy. He's joined by the Psionic, Solix's ancestor, who he helped free from slavery temporarily for a little bit there. R.I.P. And the disciple, Nepida's ancestor, who took to the seas with him in the first ship. Heh. Basically, they were in super love. Honestly, I'm not sure if that was like one of those like lost in history kind of mistranslations, or if it was intended as to be an actual ship. Either way, it's funny. They were in super love, something surpassing all quadrants, whatever that means. I don't know what it means. Doc Scratch doesn't know what it means. It's whatever. Our executioner, Darkleer, Equius's ancestor, was supposed to kill her actually when he executed the Signless, but he took pity on her. And it was this implied that caused him to, he was exiled because of this. And he seems to have some amount of regret over the whole incident, though it's left a little, like, obscure as to whether he regretted killing the Signless or if he just regretted not doing his job. We're not, like, sure. The Dolorosa would be sold into slavery, as would the Psionic, but he actually remained alive until very recently in the comic, because he was the helmsman for the Empress herself, who used her powers to extend his life to a natural length. Remember, she's also Thefray's ancestor, but she just happens to still be around because fuchsia blood longevity.
Yeah. She explained how the red bloods usually die off quicker and their lifespan is shorter, so that's why they're seen as expendable.
But again, he was alive until recently because, after all the shit went down and after Glibglob fucking died,
yeah,
he his death, its death knell wiped out pretty much every remaining troll in the galaxy that wasn't the Condes or that wasn't like squirreled away in the medium and too far away for it to do any damage. So, he died anyway, as did pretty much every other troll, which, you had to thought of that, where it's like, oh yeah, like, wasn't every single adult, like, off planet? They aren't as dead of a species as we assumed it. Nope, there they go. There they all go, all at once. So, yeah, that little like split end was taken care of. But okay, so let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit to the beginning of the notes, because I wanted to talk about Mindfang stuff later. Marquise Spinneret Mindfang. So the kids, little backstory, they've been talking a lot about their ancestors. If you didn't catch the implication, Karkat had 12 extra regulars along with the 12 that made up his friends when he was doing the whole ectobiology baby juggling thing that John did earlier in the comic. Those regulars went back in time to become the ancestors, yada, yada, yada. Interesting stories, interesting lives. Already been over this.
Which is super cool.
Marquise Spinneret Mindfang is Vriska's ancestor. And, we'll get like a few, we'll understand. I think we actually do meet all of them at this point. All of them are accounted for at this point, yes. At the very least. We got Dual Scar, Grand High Blood, Darkleer. They're all there. Anyway, Mindfang, though, was a pirate adventurer who Vriska models herself heavily after. And she even had, like, a journal of hers that she found at one point in, like, one of her chests, as well as some of her artifacts. I think this actually might be where she gets the cue ball. Not sure. I think it is because Marquise had it first. Yeah, it is. Okay. Mystery solved. Because I was wondering that earlier. I forgot. So the Marquise's journal. So she tells the story of her lover, orphaner, dual scar, Eridan's ancestor that we talked about a little earlier. So she had taken a slave as a lover in a scene that, let's not worry about that too much. That was also kind of like, I don't know how consensual that all is. Let's not get into that. But anyway, Orvaner had the slave assassinated, seething with jealousy. Even though polyamory is mostly the norm within troll society, so long as the quadrants don't facilitate, he was so jealous that he couldn't stand the thought of her having anyone else in his in any of her quadrants. He also at the time though had red feelings for the Empress, and he basically went out of his way after all of this to be as much of a spiteful, hateful little son of a bitch as he possibly could, raising Spinneret's bounty and reporting her to the Condess. He goes straight to the Grand High Blood actually to come up with the evidence to bring forward the evidence. Grand High Blood being Gamzee's ancestor, and to no one's surprise, he kills him on sight. He's like, "Oh, cool, you have evidence for me." Smash. Anyway, interesting that. Dual Scar dies like a sniveling fucking two-faced coward, as he deserves. Fuck that guy. Fuck Dual Scar. All my homies hate Dual Scar.
Dual Scar.
I have way too much hatred for the entire Aquarius bloodline. That's on me. Way too much hatred for all of them. Anyway, but at first, though, they mostly viewed her bounty as a pretty low priority.
But once it got raised, it was like, oh, she's a threat.
Yeah, basically. And a neophyte Red Glare, Trezi's ancestor, as I said earlier, she goes out of her way to catch Spinneret herself. Basically, just, for fun. Red Glare is pretty effective at it, actually. Takes down all of her fleet. All of her fleets, takes her eye and her arm. Familiar.
Dang.
Mindfang even says like, "Oh, maybe we could have been lovers, but not for a bureaucrat." Which is fair. It's fair. They didn't even know each other very long, because pretty much as soon as they were on trial, before Red Glare could even give her opening statement, Marquise, Mindfang managed to take control of the very angry crowd of low bloods, and they hung Red Glare on the spot.
Dang.
And then she managed to escape. The High Bloods didn't find the humor in it, but still got away. She goes.
What do you expect anything less from, a prior overlord?
Nope. It was cold as fuck. I kind of respected it.
She's really badass, actually.
It's cold as fuck. I get why Vriska was like, I'm gonna model my whole life out of this woman. What do you mean she's my grandmother? Fuck yes.
Their designs remind me of like Infinity Stones. I don't know why.
Mm. So she goes to Darklear, who, as I said, was exiled and, feeling all sorts of ways about something. He makes her a new arm. And this is also where we see that she spoke to Doc Scratch far before Vriska ever did. And she looks through the cue ball and gets a glimpse of her future, where she sees her mate Sprit, the summoner, Tavros' ancestor. This is a troll troll destined to lead a grand low blood rebellion. His rebellion is what creates the current state of affairs, actually, where all the adults are. So yeah, the signless, his deal, that wasn't enough for it. Taprose's ancestor coming back and finishing what he started. That's what sent things over the edge, and managed to force the Empress to basically conscript all the adults in order to keep them busy, to stop something like this from happening again. So all the adults are in forced military, a forced military draft, essentially. So
they're so tired but can't rebel.
Yeah. We're basically even just being on the planet and organizing itself is illegal. And of course, we get a funny little Rufio Peter Pan reference because he managed to create a planet of only children. Uh,
Rufio.
Rufio. Also, he's destined to kill her, but we don't get to that part yet. The next important one is the handmaid. Who, due to some weird twist of fate, managed to get sent off course and didn't get sent to the planet until after it was basically already destroyed.
And so she's just alive with nothing to fight.
She's questionably Aradia's ancestor, but yeah, we'll just call her ancestor for now. She's the handmaid, and she's interesting. So she's raised by Doc Scratch, yes, more or less, fostered by him. Yeah. He says, and he's basically there grooming her in order to become the handmaid to Lord English, the big bad that has been looming heavily over everything. Maybe now's a good time to finally explain Lord English, actually. Shit.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, what exactly is Lord English?
Because what is he? You're not supposed to know yet.
Got it. So I just know he's the big bad.
Yeah. So basically, Doc Scratch is a servant of Lord English. He wishes to be killed because that will allow Lord English to come into existence. And though, luckily for our heroes, technically, even though Lord English is, worse than Jack, he says explicitly, for now, Jack is enough of a problem that them being able to take out the Green Sun and nerf Jack severely, that's enough of, they need that bad enough that they're willing to cooperate with him for a bit. So, but,
it still feels like a bad choice to do, though, if Lord English is worse.
It is, but it's also at this point, their only option. So,
yeah.
So, he does at least say that, the thing is, Lord English is inevitable. So, best just go along. Lord English was inevitable. Jack Noir was an anomaly. Yeah, so theoretically, he's saying, you might have a better chance. You can try. It's not comforting, but it's something.
Nope, it's something, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Definitely is a doomsday scenario.
So he's groomed her to be the handmaid to Lord English, and because of this, she gains great time travel powers, and paradoxically has already gone through Alternia to do his bidding for years and years and years now. It is at his bidding that she has managed to warp Alternia into the warfaring, violent, horrible place that it is now, basically. All more or less at Doc Scratch's, / Lord English's desires. All in hopes
does that imply that Spurb and Scrub are designed by Lord English to just consume the world it's not supposed to succeed?
No.
Well, I don't know all the details yet, but I'm theory crafting as I read.
Just wait. They'll explain who Lord English is in due time.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. I promise it's actually simpler than what you're assuming. Anyway. So she's been affecting things. She's been, making warping the place into what it is. Supposedly, Doc Scratch says in at least half of an effort, more of the Vriska stuff, to potentially through this violence train them to better withstand the tough road ahead that the session will give them. Now, at the end of her service, she would be rewarded with a good old fight with the Condesce, in which finally she would be allowed to die, basically. She would fight. I think I put the note, more or less paraphrasing what Doc Scratch said here, which is that she would fight the Condesce, and as a reward for her service and punishment for her sins, finally die and be replaced by her. The Condesce would gain her immense power and be enslaved as punishment for her sins. And so we see that. We don't really see how the fight ends, just Doc Scratch being yeah, it's, whatever. I want to, because this is Homestuck, I'm no, bullshit, it's not going to be just that simple. Please show me how it actually goes. But we don't get to see it yet, not in this act. And also, oops, Hussy himself kills Doc Scratch, knocks him over
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I was hold up, we're seriously fourth walling that scenario? But it makes sense, though.
So, okay, so let's go back a little bit.
Is that like the one?
Cascade! Cascade! Let me blow my nose again. Give me a second. I'm going to mute myself to everyone else.
You're good. Cascade is the big wrap up video at the end. Cascade.
Cascade! Okay. When the screen expands, that goes so hard. Okay.
It does. Felt
Okay.
like the curtain was just drawn up, like when a movie theater goes dark on the big screen.
So the reason why everyone in the chat was going crazy for Cascade, it's because Cascade is like famously good and also like infamous for other reasons as well. So, if you didn't know, when Cascade first dropped, it broke the website.
Oh.
And then it broke Newgrounds, where it was hosted on. And then it broke Mega Uploads, where they tried to repost it to.
Why did it break so many sites?
It broke everything.
Why did it break all the sites?
Because everyone was trying to watch it all at once. No, and it was MediaFire, not Mega Upload. Or you're probably right there. It was one of the. It was one of the two. Some extra site that they tried to also re-upload it to. It broke everything. It broke everything all at once for like days.
That's actually so
both.
iconic.
This Flash is like famously good and impressive, and I'm so glad that I don't know if they've like put it up on the proper website in its proper form finally, but either way, I'm glad that like I'm glad that we have our version at the very least with everything intact as it should be. And it's great. It went up today. Perfect timing. Amazing timing. Beautiful timing.
Wow. I still can't believe they're fixing the old site.
That's great. I love that, honestly. But again, we're reading at a slightly faster pace than what they're uploading at, and they weren't even half caught up when we did the first part. So, but yeah, a lot happens in Cascade. It's very plot heavy, yeah. So Jack puts Jade's Jade earlier got like killed by a shaving cream bomb, shrapnel bomb.
Yeah.
Jack put Jade's body on the quest bed, and we find out that, hey, newly dead is just as good as actually dying on the quest bed, so she's able to become god tier. He then turns around, though, and kills AR and the White Queen and the mayor. Oh, no.
I'm so sad to see those guys die, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And through the uranium in his gut, manages to get the power boost to cross over to the troll section. It's been speculated. They've tried to speculate, like, oh, how did he get in there? Yada, yada, yada. Turns out it was kind of mundane. I think that's kind of lame, but, like, I get it. Spade Slick shoots Snowman. Rose and Dave arm the tomb. We're at the heart of their moon and go flying gather the green sun. God tiers all around. You get God tier. You get God tier. You get God tier. Probably the most impressive one though is that because of a little, the little thing that happens there where Jade, I think I completely glossed over this. Yeah, that like after Tavros gives Jade the idea of trying to convince Beck to go fight Jack Noir. Jade decides to prototype her dream self into Beck Sprite because it still had one left, and her dream self is like a weepy little blubbering bitch. Jade hates it.
Jade got so annoyed.
Jade gets very annoyed. Carcat finds this very funny because just earlier she was dunking on him for arguing with his past self. Turns out everyone argues with themselves. But this has interesting consequences because it means that Jade's dream self, kind of still around, kind of manages to work to her purposes there, and it also gives her the powers of Beck when she awakens as her god tier in that new dream self body, basically making
Jade
her
is super strong,
a supercharged witch of space, an incredibly powerful player now. She's like shrinking planets and like folding space and bending shit and doing all this and launching spaceships with her mind. It's insane. In the meantime, John is finishing the scratch, and the Peregrine Medicate dons the White Queen's ring, and starts doing battle with Jack Noir, and it's so cool, and it's so hype, and it's so good. Solix using the last of his Psionics to launch the meteor to the beacon, which kind of half kills him, but he's fine. And Rose and Dave on their quest labs when the bomb exploded, and they're reborn as their god tier selves. We got a Night of Time, Seer of Light.
At least it wasn't a complete suicide mission.
They're good. They're good. Apparently, there's a second way secretly, and that's the end of Act 5, baby. Cascade is beautiful. If you haven't seen Cascade in a while, go watch Cascade now that it's restored. Apparently, go do that. Go do that. Assuming that it's not that the website didn't break again because they did that.
I hope it did.
It'd be great if it did. But yeah, that's Act 5 basically. All that's left is just a tiny little intermission where we see Lord English sprout from the body of Doc Scratch and realize...
And he looks terrifying like the Lich.
He looks terrifying, and we realize that our problems are not quite so done, are they?
Nope.
This is not good. This, in fact, might have gotten worse. And also, I noticed, too, there that he did a honk. He did some honks. I wonder if that's related to anything that's been going on with other characters right now. We're going to worry. Don't worry about it.
Like Gamzee and the High Blood.
Yeah. Also, the fact that Doc Scratch is a puppet. I'm making the connections. I've already read the comic. I know the connections. But Quicksby, you should be making the connections. Write that shit down.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of like glossed over a lot of the story bits. I think like Act 5, the delight of Act 5, right, is all the characters and all the character drama. This is Homestuck. This is like real Homestuck. This is real Homestuck.
I don't hate it, but this was a lot of information in just one big bulky chapter.
It was. So here's what I'm gonna do, because we're done here for today. That's it. That's the end of the discussion. I am going to give you, how about like a tentative date for when we're gonna be doing the next one? I want to give you a little bit more time. So, how about December 12th?
So we're going from 4,000 to probably around 6,000 something.
Yeah. We're gonna get there about half of Act 6. December 12th. I'll give you the exact page number soon, though. Of course, if you just go to the Discord to the pinned comments in the book club channel, you can see the link there that has. If you go to they have a 4 parts outline. Go to the last one there, and you should be able to open it up and see the page number. That's just where I'm getting them all from. Yeah. Act 5 is gargantuan, and we had a lot to go through here. So Act 6 is getting split in 2.
It's gonna have to.
Yeah, obviously, because it's like half of the entire comic. Obviously we have to split it in 2. So, but you're gonna get extra time. But here's the thing. This is the deal. This is the pact we make by me giving you a little bit extra time, which is that you actually have to like start reading it earlier. If I have to be there 1st of December harassing you into just starting it, then what was the point of me giving you that extra time?
No. Yeah, remember it's holiday season, but extra time for that is also just helpful.
Yeah. So I know I am at the minimum.
I hope everyone's looking forward to Christmas.
I'm at the minimum starting in beginning of November. At the absolute minimum starting the beginning of November. Just to give myself extra time, because I too really I crammed this all into like the span of 2 weeks, and I felt like that was a mistake. That was definitely a mistake on my part. And you crammed it into less, so I can't even fucking imagine. I did it. Yeah, but you also had very little to say. Let's be real.
Well, you went so video essay. I was focusing more on what happened, not all the relationships.
Either way, I'm glad you at least fulfilled your duty. I wasn't prepared
for all the relationships. I was like, wait, I'm just here to talk about how cool.
I would still encourage you to take your time, and
I thought Doc Scratch was cool, and I liked the felt. Snowman was like amazing.
I know before I was trying to read it at closer to 200 pages a day, and then that never works because there's some days where you miss out and you just end up doing like 600 pages in one day because you just mix an entire week. What can I say? I am going to try and slow it down to a page of closer to 100 pages a week, a day. Um, what did I say before? 200 pages. 200 pages a day was what I was doing before.
Yeah.
Too fast. I'm slowing down to 100 pages a day. Which means I need, at least a good 4 weeks, 4 weeks of business days to get through it properly. That's how I'm gonna lay out the schedule here. Reminder: I'm still doing my Percy Jackson stuff as on the B side of this thing. So I got 2 books I'm juggling here. So
I've only read the first book of Percy Jackson. Well, I didn't really read anymore.
read all of them. I'm reading Son of Neptune right now. So we got past main Percy Jackson. We're in Heroes of Olympus. And we are already about halfway through that one, nearly. I was reading Kane Chronicles as well.
I'm just shocked by how much content that author has written for that story.
I got so many fucking irons in the fire. It's insane. Probably more than anyone else on this planet. But December 12th. 12/12. Easy to remember. It's a Friday. I will see you then for the first half of Act 6.
Act 6.
Exact page number to come soon. But yeah, just take your weekend, take a week if you need, and then get right back on that horse if you can, because it's gonna be a lot too. It's gonna be a lot as well. I promise it will be. It's gonna be less, but it's gonna be a lot.
Because the Pesterlogs definitely got longer.
They did. I think luckily the Pesterlogs.
But the artwork was so good though.
The artwork is very good. The Pesterlogs I think have mostly leveled out. They're not going to be getting longer still. They've leveled out basically. So you don't have to worry about the read time taking longer, but obviously it was a spike as far as, hours per minute per page that you were expecting. So just be prepared for that. It'll be good stuff still. Some good video game segments coming forward. Yeah. This has been fun. Char, happy birthday again. But yeah, let's call it a night. I know Quixby's tired.
I am. My brain's soup.
It's about the end of the day. I've been going all day doing homebrew nonsense. Char. I'd be happy to share with you the homebrew stuff. Whenever, honestly. But yeah. Have a night, everyone. How about we do our sign off?
All right.
Okay. Forgot you don't have a special one, huh? Anyway.
Well, I was just gonna follow what you usually do.
No, it's fine. I'm just too used to Luck, I think, where he does his whole thing.
That's fair.
Chatters, viewers here for a while. I think you're all the same. This is Luck powering off. But anyways, remember everyone, lucky days.
Luck cameo.
Yeah. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. Good night.
Good night.